Welcome to Dolly Talk. This is Dolly. How is everybody doing? All right. So we have a civil trial today. It's been a little bit of a hectic day trying to run the morning stream, but watch this as well. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Um, but it's looking promising. So, no, I don't have AIDS. Good Lord. Mefka's here. Texas, how you doing? Did a wow. Warren County is so cheap, they shake the ink cartridges twice before replacing them. Louise was here earlier. Christine, yes, you could stream, not a problem. Justin. So, wouldn't be the first time. What is this civil case? It's two neighbors. The plaintiff is suing the plaintiff owns the property and sold the property next door to him on the condition that he doesn't build anything next to the property line. Well, the reason for that is the plaintiff has sarcoidosis and needs a stress-free life. Calm blue ocean, calm blue ocean. Puppies and kittens, no yelling, no stress. So the neighbor starts to build up against his property a garage where he's going to store his racing cars, because the defendant lost one of his legs after a infection during a knee replacement. So he decided to get into expensive cars and revving them and, well, loud racing cars. Yes. The plaintiffs say that he's intentionally backfiring the cars. When the plaintiff tried to talk to the defendant about it, the defendant got very hostile, telling them to F off and all that good stuff. Since then, he has become increasingly hostile, playing loud music, including rap music. They're both white, but he decided to play rap music at some points. Shining lights at them, racing their cars, revving the cars back, making them backfire. So they'll go into all this stuff. There's a lot of petty stuff that's going on. It's a defamation trial. I don't know how much of it yet is one side or the other. No, I believe there was a written contract. It was part of like them selling the house. So he should not have built it. But we'll get into opening and all that fun stuff. Hey, Phil, how you doing? Yeah, can't wait to see the cars. Okay. I'm recording this live as it plays during the day. So it started today, jury selection ended a little before lunch. So we're just going to start with opening and get through what we can today.
Can you all see the laptop there without a problem?
Yep. May it please the court. May it please the court.
Yes.
Mr. Wright.
There was a couple glitches when I was recording it this morning. My internet cut out. So there's like a few minutes I may have missed. But it's not, I don't think it's very noticeable. Yeah, the court TV wouldn't work. Okay. And the guy on the right's in the wheelchair is the
We're
defendant.
here because the defendant absolutely cannot handle hearing the word no. Over the next few days, we're going to show you the story of how Tim Hopkins has spent the last 5 years trying to ruin Chuck and Diane Goebel's lives. Why? Because the plaintiffs told him no, and the defendant could not handle it. Chuck and Diane Goebel live at 4171 Maxwell Drive in Mason, Ohio. They bought that house from a home builder named Bernie Curlman, and they bought it back in 2001. Now, when they bought their house, they also bought the lot next door, and they left it vacant. You see,
Okay, just real quick. The guy over here on the right in the wheelchair, is the defendant. He lost the knee or a leg above the knee, unfortunately, during an infection during a knee replacement surgery. This in the middle there is the plaintiff's wife. And I believe on the left, yeah, I believe that's the plaintiff there. So you can kind of get an idea of the crazy cast of characters.
Charles Goebel had just been diagnosed with a heart condition and lung condition called sarcoid disorder. And getting good rest, living a stress-free life, those were the best treatments for his disease. And you know what? They thought that if they moved to a bigger house with plenty of space for their 4 kids, out away from, suburban life, that would be enough. And for a little while it was.
Oh, okay.
But in
Dark hairs
2003,
plaintiff.
Chuck had a heart attack and had to retire from his dental
Thank you.
practice. Even moving out away from the stress wasn't enough. His wife, Diane, went back to work as a school teacher, and Chuck focused on his health. After retiring, Chuck did get his health back under control. He got good sleep. He exercised enough. He was out in nature. He did all the things you're supposed to do to get your health under control. So in 2007, when Bernie Curlman came back and asked if he could buy the vacant lot and build a house there, the Goebels thought, sure, why not? Chuck's got his health under control. We have everything in order. But when they did, they insisted that there be a couple of restrictions. There can't be a detached garage. There can't be any outbuildings, and there can be no distress to Chuck's peace and quiet. Other than that, have at it. Bernie bought the lot, built a house to those specifications, and later in 2007, the defendant and his then wife, Denise, moved in. Now, Chuck and Diane didn't have much of a relationship with the Hopkins. They'd invite them over to neighborhood events, birthday parties here and there, but nothing like with their other neighbors. Chuck and Diane were very active in the neighborhood. They would have all their friends over for dinner. They'd ask about their kids. When their neighbors moved away, they'd stay in touch. Chuck and Diane will tell you they even went on trips with some of their neighbors. Not so with the Hopkins. They were arm's length neighbors. Over the years, the Goebels saw Tim put in a pool, a koi pond, an outdoor kitchen. He did a good job. They were nice projects. Got them done quickly, not too much noise or mess. And importantly, all of them were in the backyard away from the Goebels' house. None of them interrupted Chuck's sleep.
Oh,
During the COVID lockdown, though, the defendant decided he was going to build a detached garage right up against the property line, right next to the Goebels' bedroom. The property line there, the Goebels' bedroom there.
so I'm just going to share this. Hopefully you can see it. Damn it. This is a map. So on the right, wait, I know my little Sharpie thing isn't working. Why isn't this working? Damn it. Okay, well, where the arrow thing is, I believe, is the plaintiff's house. The house to the left that's got the pool and everything, is the defendant's house. So you can get an idea there.
Now, what I haven't mentioned is that the defendant had a couple of cars, not Teslas, not Priuses, not anything that's rolling quietly in and out.
And yes, as far as I know, there's no relation to the 1940s propagandist Goebbels.
Audi R8s, McLarens, Lamborghinis. These cars didn't roll, they rumbled out.
Exactly.
So this garage was a huge threat to Chuck's peace, quiet, and good sleep. This isn't the end of the world, right? We have the restrictive covenants. Just go talk to your neighbor. So that's exactly what Chuck did. He got a copy of the deed, and he went next door. He was a little afraid of his neighbor, so he called a Mason police officer to come sit at the bottom of the driveway. But it was supposed to be a neighborly conversation.
If you're going to your neighbor for a neighborly conversation, do you involve the police? That to me stuck out when I first heard that is just really weird. Like he gives no reason why he felt the need to have police there. I don't know. That was weird.
Hey, Tim, here's the deed. It says right here, no detached garages. Please stop.
Hmm.
When the Goebels knocked on the defendant's door on May 8th, they were met by the defendant's son, Ryan. Ryan said, "My dad's not home." The Goebels tried to explain it to Ryan, who might then be able to explain it to his dad, but ultimately, Ryan said, "I need you to leave." And so they did. When they walked to the bottom of the driveway, though, Tim Hopkins did come out of the house. How do you think that interaction went? Well, you don't have to think. The Goebels were worried enough about how this would go that they caught it on video. Here's that video.
He was restrictive. Okay, and I want to be neighborly. I'm not threatening at all. I did not hear you, sir. I'll be off the property. I just rang the doorbell. All I'm saying is this. Above the design review, there's something more powerful, and that's a restricted covenant for a driveway on that front. I don't want. Yes, sir. All I'm saying is, Tim, I want to be neighborly. You've been a great neighbor. I'm just informing you before you go to the expense. That's all I'm asking, sir.
Did you catch that at the end? Go fuck yourself. This video will come into evidence. You can watch it as many times as you need to. It's unequivocal. Go fuck yourself. Now, this video is the start of a long, ugly, drawn-out fight. This is 2020. Uglier than anybody could have predicted at that point.
Got spunk.
And why? Because the Goebels just told the defendant, no, you can't build your driveway. Now, over the coming weeks, the Goebels tried to get this worked out with their neighbor, continued to try to be neighborly. But ultimately, the defendant kept building his garage while those negotiations were ongoing, and they never came to an agreement. So after a couple of weeks of discussing it, the Goebels hired a neighbor, Tom Grossman, who is an attorney, to go file for a restraining order to stop the garage project. And it did. The court order stopped the garage project, but it didn't protect the Goebels from the defendant's harassment. You'll hear that the very first thing that the defendant started doing was playing loud, vulgar rap music over his outdoor speakers towards the Goebels' home at all hours. This had never happened before.
Maybe he just got into rap music.
That was important for what was to come, because most of the harassment was sound-based. The defendant started revving his engine as he drove by the Goebels' house in his supercars. Remember, he's not just turning up his truck engine. He is roaring a Lamborghini past the Goebels' house until it backfires, which sounds like gunshots. Speaking of gunshots, he started setting an alarm around 7 a.m. every day that had the sound of jackhammers, gunshots, and dogs barking. I'll remind you that they live next to a man who has told him he needs his sleep, that his heart condition is worsened by getting bad sleep.
Yep, Paul.
The Goebels weren't even safe to leave the house, realistically. When they would go walking in the neighborhood, if the defendant was driving his car,
Oh,
and he saw
Yeah, I
the
saw Tracy.
plaintiffs walking. He would
Glad
swerve
you're
the
here.
car, rev the engine, and pretend he was going to hit them. They became afraid to walk around the neighborhood. But they weren't safe in their backyard either, because if the defendant saw them in their backyard, he'd start screaming obscenities at them. That wasn't all, of course. He kept up a constant harassment campaign. When he was stopped from building the driveway project, he took all of the trash from that project, piled it up against the property line, built a fence around his backyard, and started piling trash on that property line. Let his lawn get overgrown. Every single one of these things on its own would be petty. Taken together over time, became harassment and became outrageous. Now, eventually, the Goebels got their day in court on their restraining order. On October 6th of 2020, Charles Goebel and Timothy Hopkins were in court. During court, the defendant admitted to screaming profanities from his yard, but he informed the magistrate, "Maybe I was just yelling at my son." The magistrate asked, "Do you often yell profanities at your son?" The defendant acknowledged that he did. Apparently, something about this exchange bothered the defendant, made him worried. So when the court went on break, Charles Goebel and the defendant both went to the restroom. When they came out, Chuck was waiting in the hallway to go back to court, and the defendant wheeled his wheelchair up, past his fiance, past his best friend, and said, "If they take my son away because of this, I'll kill you. I'll kill you if you've done this." The defendant's friend, Rich Knott, walked with Mr. Goebel back to the courtroom. His fiance grabbed his head and pushed him down the hallway. And that discussion ended. When Chuck got back to the courtroom, though, he went directly to the sheriff's deputy and got paperwork to ask for an emergency protective order. Once he filled out that paperwork and filed it, you have to come back to court for another hearing. And when he came back to court, Chuck saw something. This courthouse has a lot of cameras, a lot of security cameras. The death threat had been captured on video. So we went and got that video. We have it. You'll notice something about the video, and that's that it doesn't have audio. Remember that while you watch this.
Can we watch it too, court? That's good. They got a 13-inch laptop for the jury. That's stupendous. Oh, did I hit play? Whoops. How are you, Hella? Lawyer's going to realize he's accidentally playing some porn. No.
Now, the defendant claimed he never made a death threat.
Oh, also one of, I believe, the plaintiff's lawyers is pro hoc vice, so he's not even an Ohio attorney. And before trial, he tried to ask the judge if his other attorney that was local counsel could be excused and not be there for the trial because he didn't want to pay him. But the judge was like, "No, you need local counsel if your other lawyer is going to be pro hoc vice." So yeah, he tried to get out of having to pay for local counsel and didn't work. Oh, thank you, Kat. Yeah, Kat Not Williams. Great channel. Sorry.
Until he heard that it was on video. And then, just like that, the defendant decided that he was done. He agreed to stop the driveway. He agreed to pay the Goebels their attorney's fees. He agreed that a civil protective order was appropriate against him. And for a brief moment, the Goebels had their peace again. It wasn't perfect, but it was better. And that should have been the end of it. But a few weeks after signing the settlement agreement, it started right back up. The defendant would take his cars out in front of the Goebels' house again, rev his engine until it backfired. When he revved the engine long enough, it sounded like gunshots. Now, the Goebels at this point had had enough of the defendant's harassment that they started pulling security footage from their home security system when it happened. So we have a video explaining what that sounds like.
Okay.
You see a car drive by and hear what it sounds like.
Hey, Ms. D, how are you doing?
But this time, it's different. Because this time he isn't just harassing the Goebels, he's violating a court order. There's a civil protective order preventing him from making these kinds of noises in front of the Goebels' house. So the Goebels called the police to report that violation, and the police eventually arrested the defendant for violating a protective order. After getting arrested, the defendant made some phone calls from the jail phone, admitting to illegal activity. Jail calls are recorded. The police and prosecutors can listen to them. The police took those phone calls, got a search warrant for the defendant's house, and ended up charging him with crimes from those calls. The defendant was
Thanks,
furious
Scott, for the redirect.
at himself for making calls on recorded lines admitting to criminal activity. No,
Your Honor, I object to the ways, the pretrial ruling and the ways characterizing the statement.
Overrule.
at himself for making calls on a recorded line? No. At himself for driving his car in such a way that he violated a protective order? Of course not. He was mad at the Goebels. In his mind, this was all their fault. And he was going to punish them. Once he got out of jail, he started accusing the Goebels of a grand conspiracy to get him arrested. He said the Goebels didn't actually need rest. They were trying to extort money out of him. He emailed Lieutenant Jeff Wiss of then Detective Jeff Wiss, now Lieutenant Jeff Wiss of the Mason Police Department to report this crime. Lieutenant Wiss will come testify. He'll tell you that he interviewed all of the witnesses the defendant proposed. He left no stone unturned. He spoke to both the municipal and the county prosecutor, and he emailed the defendant. He emailed the defendant, "This is not extortion." He cited him the law. He told him why. And the defendant responded, "The people you spoke to were biased, so I'll let the court of public opinion decide." What did that mean? Well, here's what that means. FreePurpleLambo.com. The defendant set up a website accusing the Goebels of engaging in a grand conspiracy to extort him. First, he shared this website on Facebook. He used his profile, he used his son Ryan's profile to share with people. Read this accounting of extortion in Mason. The website references the Goebels specifically and accuses them of extortion. Once he shared it on Facebook, that wasn't enough. So he started sharing it on Facebook group pages. That is the ones with thousands of followers. He shared it with a Mason group that had over 44,000 followers. Still, it wasn't enough. So what did he do? Well, what do you do when you need people to hear?
Oh, yeah, this is the part where it cut out for a minute when I was recording. But
Accusations, sir. And
they
there
placed
on
an
the
ad in
last
the newspaper.
paragraph, FreePurpleLambo.com. Shortly after the publication of the Enquirer article,
I tried.
the website was taken down.
Oops.
But even his doctor said, you need to do something to get this under control because the stress was so severe. His sarcoid disease that he had spent almost 2 decades at this point getting under control started flaring up again. He felt like he was going to have another heart attack. Thankfully, he didn't. And his doctors will tell you that his sarcoid didn't reactivate in his heart. But that's what the stress felt like. And Diane's here. She was along for the ride. Diane had just recently retired from being a school teacher. These were the first few years of her retirement. She was supposed to spend them with her husband, but instead, she watched the man that she loved deteriorate in front of her eyes. At one point, Chuck was so beside himself, he fell to the ground and started pounding the ground, pounding the wall, because he just couldn't keep it in anymore. And
Exactly. Yeah, that's how
if
I
you think
feel.
this couldn't be offensive,
In a
more
while.
offensive than this, the defendant had moved out in September of 2021. This article is from July of 2022. They weren't even neighbors anymore. So now Chuck felt like he'd never get away from Tim Hopkins, even if he moved, even if he never spoke to him again. In fact, the Goebels will both tell you that they didn't speak to him again after the May 8th video, May 8th of 2020, the Go Fuck Yourself video.
That's one way to describe it. What am I doing? There we go.
The law surrounding defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress will be explained to you. It's going to come in a packet about that thick, and you will apply that law. But the factual questions included in that packet are going to be very simple. And those are the ones that you will be called on to decide. Factually, you're going to be asked, was Tim Hopkins lying? Were the things that he published in freepurplelambo.com and in the Cincinnati Enquirer article lies? And did he know they were lies? Secondly, were they defamatory? Third thing, did he publish these statements to intentionally inflict serious emotional distress on the Goebels? I'm not going to argue these things before you've heard the evidence. The evidence will show the answer to each of these things is yes. But those are the questions that you should be keeping in your mind throughout this trial. And the reason that these questions will be so obvious after you've heard all the evidence, the reason that we're here and the reason the answer to these questions is yes, because the defendant can't handle the word no. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brody. Mr. Rice?
Thank you, Your Honor.
The wheelchair guy is the Lambo guy. The sarcoidosis guy on the left. This guy is the guy with sarcoidosis and the health issues that just wants peace and quiet and a nice life. This is his wife. This is Lambo wheelchair guy on the right. So you can see him there. Lambo's the code name for the wheelchair. No, he's got a ton of money because he sold like a pill packing company to Amazon, the wheelchair guy. They both have a ton of money. I think the guy on the left was a dentist and did some other stuff. They have way, way, way too much money. And what do rich people do when they get a bunch of money? They piss it away to lawyers. Like, it's just, everything I've heard so far is just really childish. The defendant in the wheelchair acted very poorly. Probably the plaintiff was very obnoxious with how they asked and told him, which really annoyed the defendant. So it's just neither side probably really exhibited good control. And the defendant is just a very passive aggressive person.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As the judge said, my name is John Rice, and along with Mr. Greiner, I have the pleasure of representing Tim Hopkins in this matter. You may recall one of the first things His Honor said today was, there are two sides to each story. And let me tell you Tim Hopkins' side. You just heard the Goebel side. This is a case about two neighbors who were involved in a property dispute, which started as a small campfire until the involvement of politician and lawyer Tom Grossman. Grossman poured flames on that fire and turned it into a forest fire. And in the end, who was burned? The Goebels and the Hopkins. You're gonna learn there's a sad story. It's about two neighbors who lived in very nice houses in a gated community in Mason. And for 13 years, not a problem between them. They lived peacefully together for 2 years. They both pretty much kept to themselves. What started the dispute? Well, you heard Mr. Brody talk a little bit about it, but let me give you a little background. After Mr. Hopkins had received permits from the HOA of the Heritage community, after he had gotten building permits from the city of Mason, and he had dug footings, he had put in a gravel road, he'd even rented a porta potty for the workers.
Oh,
He learned for the first time as Mr. Goebel showed up with a group of people, that he couldn't do what he wanted to do on his own property. And let's talk a little bit about that property. Turned out that Mr. Goebel was the prior owner of that property. He had sold it to a builder named Bernie Curlman. In turn, Mr. Hopkins bought it from Curlman and hired him to build a house on it, his dream house. No one ever told Mr. Hopkins about an easement or some control that Mr. Goebel maintained over his property. And think about it.
Okay.
If Hopkins knew that his dream home was controlled by his neighbor,
Thank you.
would he have bought it? Who wants that kind of defect on their property? Who wants to be controlled by their neighbor? And I believe the way Mr. Grody said, that Mr. Goebel could stop anything that would cause him stress. Think about that in your own life. And I believe we heard a juror that had a dispute with a neighbor. I believe they're no longer part of the panel. But I think many of us have been through that. And to think that
This guy on the right keeps moving his foot and it's really distracting me. Like, dude, really?
a neighbor, find out that your neighbor, after having lived in the house for decades, had control over your property. Needless to say, this was very, very unwelcome news to Mr. Hopkins. He hadn't heard a word of it when he had done some extensive projects on his property. He built a swimming pool, built an outdoor kitchen, built a large koi pond, and never heard anything about it. It was very alarming, given that he had already gotten very long in the process. He had paid someone to design and build, make plans to,
where
to
does
build that
Feud go?
garage. How did Mr. Hopkins react to the news? Well, you've heard a little bit of it. He didn't take it well.
I have not used Grody yet. I did think about using my Valley Girl accent quite a bit this morning when I first heard the name.
And before I get
Gag me with a spoon.
into those facts, let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Hopkins. You learn that Tim Hopkins is a successful pharmacist and entrepreneur. He saw his life take a tragic turn in 2016 when, after knee replacement surgery, he had an infection that turned to sepsis, and he lost his leg above the knee. You'll also learn that the amputation continues to lead to incredible problems in his life. He has what is called phantom limb pain.
Objection.
Oh, that's what the
Overall,
white one is, or what that
Opening
was.
statements are not evidence. I told you that earlier. It's each attorney's view of what the evidence will show. You'll make your decision based on the evidence. They've got some leeway here to a degree.
He had concussions from falling as he went through the arduous process of trying to use a prosthetic. And I think in everyday life, many of us have seen people with below the knee prosthetics. And that those are much more accessible. And above the knee, many people don't even try. It's a very arduous and difficult process to be able to get around on the prosthetic knee. As I said, Mr. Hopkins was a trained pharmacist. He was very wary of becoming overly dependent on opioids to deal with the pain that had come with his new life. And because of that, he applied and got a medical marijuana card. And he also worked on developing strands of marijuana that would best help him deal with the pain and not have to use opioids. Along with the leg that he lost, Mr. Hopkins lost many of the outdoor activities that gave him much meaning to his life. He could no longer go jogging. He could no longer run. He could no longer play golf. To help keep his sanity, he turned to collecting and racing cars. And this was something he could do with his son, Ryan. When Goebel and his crew came and confronted Mr. Hopkins and told him that he could no longer build this garage, which he was going to use to work on and store the cars that he used with his son, Ryan, he became very distressed. However, being a businessman, Mr. Hopkins saw a solution. And he turned to a neighbor that lived near the Goebels and the Hopkins. That's Richard Knott. You will hear from him. And Mr. Knott helped them reach a resolution. In fact, they had an agreement that Tim would pay
he's shaking his
$5,000 to
head.
the Goebels.
Wow, he is okay.
He would be allowed to build his garage with certain time restrictions to allow for any concerns.
Whoa, sir.
Um,
You weren't supposed to be reacting. Look at this little putz. I don't remember Wheelchair Guy reacting at all during the plaintiff's opening.
a resolution. In fact,
What he
they
does
had an
here.
agreement that Tim would pay $5,000 to the Goebels.
Settle down, boy. Settle
He would
down.
be allowed to build his garage with certain time restrictions to allow for any concerns. And it looked like this was going to go away, and it wasn't going to be turned into the sad story that we're about here today. Who then entered the picture? And he was mentioned by Mr. Grody. County Commissioner Tom Grossman. He became Mr. Goebel's lawyer. And suddenly, the $5,000 fee ballooned to $54,000 to pay attorney's fees to Mr. Grossman. Grossman's legal warfare had begun. The first lawsuit was filed by Grossman on behalf of the Goebels for a restraining order to prevent the garage. Richard Knott was out of the picture. There was no more peaceable, quick solution. It was in the courts. It was here in Warren County Courthouse. You heard a little bit of it. Mr. Hopkins did not react well to this being turned into a legal dispute. He was extremely frustrated. They were so close to a resolution until Grossman got involved. As his frustration festered, he acted out in what can most accurately be called juvenile pranks, or I believe Mr. Grody used the term petty things that he did. On a few occasions, regrettably, he threw poop bags from his little dogs onto the Goebels' yard. In the mornings, he would play loud music.
Erica, they just need a good old-fashioned fist fight. Well, the judge did bring up that they used to settle differences with duels. And apparently in Kentucky, when you become a lawyer, you are not allowed to second a duel or whatever it is. So they did kind of bring up duels earlier, but said that now we just handle it in the courtroom with a civil trial. I was kind of hoping they'd get into like trial by combat, but oh well.
Music at times, starting maybe at 6, 7 a.m. to disturb the Goebels. He's not proud of that. He exchanged some emails with the Goebels where he used strong language about his frustration with the situation. However, what the evidence will show is that he never physically confronted his neighbors. In fact, Mr. Grody said they haven't spoken to him from the day they showed up at his door with the sudden news of this easement. He didn't point lights at the house. And I don't know about you, but I listened to that video and it sounded like a sports car driving by the front of the house. And that's precisely what happened. There was no backfiring. In fact, you'll hear from an expert that even if Mr. Hopkins wanted to backfire the Lamborghini, he couldn't. The way it was built and the way those engines work, you can't purposefully backfire the engine. He was driving by.
Like that was the thing I thought of when I heard he was backfiring the car. I don't even know how you would do that. This isn't 1970. Like, can you even backfire a sports car? I mean, I know on normal, like modern cars, I've never heard of them backfiring at all. And I don't know how you would get one to backfire. It was a very weird allegation.
It's a loud car. These are large houses. They're large lawns. It's not as if they're on a street like in downtown Lebanon, where from the old days, your house is right there on the street. The Goebel's house is set back quite a ways behind their large lawn from the street where the car went by. How did the Goebels and Grossman react to Hopkins' frustration? He turned up the pressure. Now you heard talk of this alleged death threat, and I believe I couldn't see here, but I believe you saw the video, which we'll see in evidence. And maybe you noticed, because much is going to be made of this alleged death threat. What was Mr. Goebel's reaction to that death threat? Did he step back? Did he get the deputy sheriff, and we'll hear from him that was walking by? I don't know if you noticed in the video. Did he go and talk to him? No. What he did was
Objection.
He followed.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Okay. Counsel approach.
Oh, I do. This defense attorney has spunk. I love that. Just objection. I'm just going to keep talking. Objection. In my point, objection.
I was noting that in the video, and you'll get a chance to see it again.
As I was saying,
watch the video. He walks after Mr. Hopkins. He walks right down the hallway after Mr. Hopkins. He doesn't flee in fear. At this point, realizing that Grossman and the legal warfare wasn't going away, Mr. Hopkins reluctantly agreed to raise the white flag. He agreed to pay Grossman and Goebel the $54,000 requested and give up the garage. A settlement was released. The settlement was reached. The property case was dismissed. And despite the fact that he wasn't getting his garage and he was out $54,000, Mr. Hopkins believed things were over, but it was just getting started. The second Grossman-Goebel legal action was underway. And you'll hear testimony, and in fact, Mr. Grody referred to it. They sought a civil protection order against Mr. Hopkins. And on May 14th, 2021, Mr. Hopkins was arrested, put in handcuffs, and put in the back of a car by Mason Police in the county of Warren, where Tom Grossman was the county commissioner and Tom Grossman's wife was the mayor, and taken to jail on a Friday afternoon and held until Monday, because unfortunately, if you're arrested on a Friday, as Mr. Grossman obviously knew and the police officers knew, you're not going to get to see a judge until Monday. Tough luck. Why was Mr. Hopkins ripped out of his car and put into the back of a patrol car and taken into custody? Because 2 days earlier, Mr. Goebel had complained about the thing you saw in the video. Because Mr. Hopkins had driven his car, his loud Lamborghini, in front of their house. What did Grossman and Goebel do after Hopkins got out of jail? Not content with having a crippled man spend the weekend in jail through some little legal trickery for a violation that normally would be treated with a notice to appear.
If by legal trickery you mean he called the police on a Friday and your client did something to get arrested over the weekend, well, that's not trickery. That's just the way the system works, but okay.
They revived the initial litigation and filed another suit to have the initial settlement agreement set aside. At this point, Mr. Hopkins has had enough. I give up, I'm moving. And in August of 2021, Mr. Hopkins moved out of Mason, gave up his dream house, the house that he had built by Crowman, that he had worked for years, since 2016, to adjust so it would function for his wheelchair and his prosthetic leg. And he moved out. Did moving do the trick? Unfortunately, it did not, because on September 23rd, you'll learn, 2021, Grossman and Goebel started litigation number 3. They sued Hopkins for various things related to their property dispute and the aftermath of Grossman's legal attacks. Tim's a fighter. He didn't resign himself to spending the rest of his life in a wheelchair after he had an above-the-knee amputation. He fought to get an unusual and difficult prosthetic. He fought to build back his upper body so he could handle the prosthetic in the wheelchair. And he had been forced to leave his house, his dream house, by the Grossman-Goebel onslaught. But he didn't give up. But you know what he had given up? He'd pretty much given up fighting in court. And so what did he aim his direction at? At getting Mr. Grossman unelected. Grossman was coming up for election, so he said, they're fighting dirty. Let's fight back in the political arena. And that's where the purplelambo.com comes from. That's where the Facebook posts. And you'll have a chance to look at those. And of course the Goebels are mentioned because the Goebels were part of it all. They were kind of the vehicle that Grossman used for his legal warfare against Mr. Hopkins. Mr. Grody mentioned, you're going to hear that Mr. Hopkins went to officials in Mason, Warren County, and spoke of this extortion that he felt he was a victim of. And Detective Wiss looked at it and the prosecutors looked at it. And what a surprise. They said, no extortion here. Mr. Grossman, County Commissioner Grossman, no, he wasn't involved in any extortion. Mr. Hopkins wanted to use what had happened to him to keep Mr. Grossman from having the political power to do it to anyone else. And now counsel showed you this article in the Cincinnati Enquirer. And you'll get a chance to look at that too. And of course, it has Mr. Hopkins' picture on the cover. And I think after hearing this discussion, you think, oh, this is a hit piece on the Goebels. But what the evidence will show, if you take a close look at that, is that Mr. Grossman was interviewed for that article. Mr. Goebel had a chance, but didn't want to talk to the reporter. And when you look at that article, I don't know what the percentage is. You'll have to figure it out. But if you come away as a third party reading that article, the Goebels win. That article talks a lot more about things that Mr. Hopkins allegedly did wrong than anything about the Goebels. So take a look at that and think, what kind of angst or public shame could that have caused to the Goebels? Despite the fact that Hopkins had moved away in April 2021, he was gone. In March 2023, Goebels went to legal attack number 4. Now, there had been a disqualification motion as to Grossman in a prior case, so Mr. Goebels had to go to another lawyer. But in 2023, he filed the case we're in court on today, this defamation case. In this case, as Mr. Grody alluded to, Goebel and his wife are claiming that they are damaged by the things Hopkins said in his efforts to keep Grossman from being re-elected as county commissioner. They claim that Hopkins' allegations that the Goebels were part of extortion and perjury and allegations about evidence caused them emotional damage. I submit the evidence will show that Hopkins had every reason to believe that Grossman was using the Goebels to do some dirty fighting. Before sitting down, I just want to address the potential issue of damages. If you find, and the judge will instruct you on the law, as Mr. Grody noted, was reckless in regard to some of the things he said about the Goebels and his political attacks on Grossman, you'll need to decide if these statements caused the Goebels injuries for which they should be compensated. You'll have to determine if there are any legitimate damages. Will there be evidence of lost wages? Will there be evidence of out-of-pocket expenses, house repairs, things of that nature? I submit there will be none of that. Dr. Goebel, as Mr. Grody said, is retired. His wife was retired. So I anticipate what the evidence will be is damages for this alleged emotional distress. And it's my understanding that any of these emotional distress damages are primarily limited to Chuck Goebel, because the medical records all apply to Chuck Goebel.
Power on.
And
Yeah.
let's just talk 1 minute about what the evidence will show about Chuck Goebel's alleged emotional distress. Goebel claimed he suffered extensive emotional distress due to the actions of Goebel. Pay special attention to what the evidence will show about that. And again, as Mr. Greiner mentioned at the outset, I take no pleasure in bringing up some of the underlying mental health issues and other emotional issues that the Goebels have in their lives. But filing this lawsuit to try and make Mr. Hopkins pay for emotional distress puts that at issue. So I must go into these things, and it's not to belittle the Goebels, but to show what truly happened here. The evidence will show that the problem wasn't Hopkins; it was Goebel's reaction to Hopkins. Admittedly, as Mr. Grody pointed out, Mr. Hopkins did some say socially unacceptable things in response to his frustration over the garage. But the evidence needs to show that this is what led to the emotional distress. What he said is what led to the emotional distress to the Goebels. Is it reasonable to believe that Goebel was really as stressed out by Hopkins' website and Facebook posts as he claims? Or is he exaggerating? And there will be evidence to pay special attention to the psychological testing that was done of Mr. Goebel, which showed exaggeration, non-credible complaints. Next, you must pay attention to whether Attorney Grossman and Goebel's numerous lawsuits, I think we were up to 4, was the true cause of the stress and anxiety. And if you're paying attention, you remember I said it was August 2021 when Hopkins abandoned his home because of what happened. It wasn't until 2022, in July, that newspaper article was published. And Mr. Grody said they hadn't even seen Hopkins since May 7th, 2020. Ask yourself and listen to the evidence. Did Goebel suffer due to Hopkins' actions, or was it because of Goebel's desire to make Hopkins pay? Was it lawsuit after lawsuit that was a true stressor? If it was the lawsuits, that's not Mr. Hopkins' fault. And this record pays special attention because you're going to hear evidence. And as I said, You file for emotional damage, all your meetings with your treating psychiatrist, those are part of the evidence. And pay special attention to those notes, because you will see, as he explained to his psychiatrist, the true stressor in his life, County Commissioner Thomas Grossman, not Mr. Hopkins. Lastly, you need to look at pre-existing issues. In cases like this, it is important for us to look into those, as I just mentioned. Did Goebel's anxiety result from pre-existing concerns? What the evidence will show is that Chuck Hopkins had other problems, personal sexual problems between himself and Diane. He had self-esteem issues that stemmed from an abusive father.
He's
Did
limp.
Goebel allow Grossman to persist in legal
He's
warfare
soft.
against Hopkins to prove to his deceased father that he could stand up to a
Placid.
perceived bully who he saw Mr. Hopkins to be? Was that what caused it, or was it Mr. Hopkins' actions? And Mr. Brody alluded to the alcohol. You'll hear testimony from the psychiatrist about Chuck and Diane's alcohol problems. We'll also, Mr. Brody mentioned the health problems. And as I said, 17 years before anything happened with Mr. Hopkins, where he revealed the easement, Mr. Goebel was required to retire due to health problems.
Oh. Plaintiff standing up erect right now.
Bottom line, the evidence will show that if Goebel truly suffered any emotional distress, it was because of Grossman's legal warfare and not by Tim Hopkins' attempts to get Grossman unelected. On behalf of Mr. Greiner and myself, I'd like to thank you in advance, and on behalf of Mr. Hopkins, for the attention you'll pay in the coming days. This truly was a campfire that turned into a forest fire when Mr. Grossman got involved. It's time to extinguish the campfire. You all know from your common sense, and that's one of the most important things you bring here, and as the judge alluded to in his statement, it's very possible that two parties to the same event have very diametrically opposed views of what the truth is about what happened. I submit that you will see here that both parties have been through an ordeal. The evidence will show that Tim Hopkins firmly believed that what he put on his website, what he put on Facebook was the truth. The truth as he knew it, and the truth he lived it. Because of that, when I get back up here at the end of the case, I will ask you to find
The
that
truth.
Mr. Hopkins is not liable and that the
And
Goebels
has
are
a
not
look
entitled to
at it.
damages. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. Call your first witness.
Plaintiff calls Diane Goebel.
Thank you.
So his wife is coming up first on direct.
Legal pants. Oh, after you, I'm sorry.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can be seated.
Exactly, David. They're two man children who have their fifis hurt. It's nice to just have idiots for once just arguing, being petty and vindictive. Whoa, sir. Come on now.
All right, good morning, Mrs. Goebel. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, I'm Diane Goebel.
David would know about being a man
And I'm going to ask you
child.
to speak up a little bit. You'll get recorded on that
Sure.
microphone, but if the jury could hear you, that'd be better.
Diane Goebel, Chuck's wife.
All right. Where do you live, Mrs. Goebel?
4171 Maxwell Drive in Mason.
And how long have you lived there?
We moved in 2001, so 24 years.
All right. How do you know Tim Hopkins?
He was our neighbor.
When?
He moved in around 2007, I believe.
All right. Do you know about when he moved out?
It was maybe 2021, sometime around then.
I hear you hesitating. Are you very good with dates?
I'm great with events, but specific dates, I have to pause a minute.
All right. So I'll follow up with that. Are you certain that it was 2021?
I believe so.
So obviously something brings us here. What is the dispute that brings us here before the jury today?
Well, the original dispute was over the property. We had there was tree lines along our property line that were being torn down, and we found out that Tim Hopkins was building a separate garage along the property line with the driveway. And when we had the deed that he had a restrictive covenant in it, it said it was a single family home with an attached garage, which was on the other side of the house. This garage, instead of being attached to that garage, was on the opposite side along our property line. So that's what started the dispute.
And when was that?
That was in 2020, excuse me,
2020.
Yeah,
Right. Do you know about what month?
May.
Why was the garage project a problem?
Well, from it being not where his other garage is, but on the opposite side of the house, made it along our property line. And with the driveway would be on the property line, which is right by our primary bedroom where we sleep. So the noise of the cars and the lights and that would become a problem.
Why would that be a problem specific? The noise and the lights specifically?
Sure. So as you stated, Chuck was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, sarcoidosis. And one of the things that affects that is stress or lack of sleep. And so we knew that if the driveway and the garage were right next to our window, our primary bedroom, that would disrupt the sleep and the rest, and it would be stressful with the lights.
Sounds kind of petty, if you ask me. I mean,
So you had spoken
but-
a moment ago about restrictive covenants in a deed. Did you review a copy of that deed prior to coming to court?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, if I may approach the witness with what's been marked as plaintiff's 28.
I did leave my glasses. If I could check them out, please.
Say no, lawyer, say no.
Thank you. Yes,
And for right now, just do you recognize that document?
yes,
Is that the deed that you had written up when you conveyed the lot that Hopkins House is on?
yes,
Is it in the same condition as when you conveyed it?
yes,
And is that all the language that you recall from that deed restriction?
yes.
Could you find anything in that deed restriction speaking about detached garages specifically? And if you can read through it right now if you need to.
It says on the first one, it says only a single family residence with attached garage may be built on said real estate.
All right. How far into the document is that?
That's number one.
Number one.
Ooh.
Could you hold it up for the jury? Number one on the first page, is that what you're holding?
Yes,
On 28. So when was that deed written? When did you convey the lot? Well, let me back up. How did you come into possession of Tim Hopkins' lot initially?
when we bought it, when we bought our home in 2001, we bought the lot next to Curlman, the builder.
And when you bought the house, when you bought those two lots, were there houses on both lots?
No, the house that we live in was being built. The lot next to us was empty.
Why did you buy a double
Out
lot?
in a minute.
For the reason Chuck had just been diagnosed with a sarcoid before we moved in. I believe it was in 2000, the year before we moved in. And we were trying to find a home that had more space. Our primary bedroom was next to the empty lot, and the living, we have 4 children, living area was at the opposite side of the house. So the design of the house would help him with his sleeping, stress, that kind of things. And we left the lot open next to
How's the
us,
stress level?
thinking maybe someday we might do like my parents could move in or do something small there, but we decided just to keep that lot open for now to see how he was doing with the sarcoid.
Yeah, I'm sure that was
And did
your
it help?
husband's plan.
Yes.
And this was, let's just try to keep us in general timelines. When did you actually move in?
In 2001, I believe it was June.
Can you swear to it that it was June?
No.
All right, let's keep it to things we can swear to.
Okay.
So you can swear to.
I know it was in the summer because I'm a teacher and I
Okay.
was out of school, and we moved after I was out of school. So it had to be in the summer.
Summer of 2001, you said?
Correct.
All right. So from 2001 until how long did that make things better?
For years. I mean, then as we discussed, we sold the lot back to Bernie Curlman, who built a home on that lot with a garage, the attached garage on the opposite side of the house, as stated, and it was fine.
So we'll get to 2007 here in a minute, but obviously Chuck stopped working at some point, correct?
Yes, he had his heart attack in 2003. His heart stopped, and he was forced to retire.
So the house, when you say it made things better, could you explain to me what that meant from 2001 till 2003? What did that look like?
that helped with his rest and quiet. But his disease, his sarcoid disease, attacked his heart. And then that's when he had his heart attack in 2003. And so then he required a lot of rest and sleep and was forced to retire. So we were even more thankful that we had that lot and that space, our bedroom being at the opposite side of the living area from the kids.
Did Chuck ever go back to work?
No.
How old was he when he retired?
48.
You did go to work.
Yes, I taught elementary school for many years.
At which school?
Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy,
And which grade?
second grade.
Second grade. All right. When did you retire?
I retired in 2019.
All right. So I promised to go back to 2007. Let's do that now. In 2007, you conveyed
Should have
this lot
experienced
back to Bernie
resolving
Krallman. Tell me about the
conflicts between toddlers.
circumstances surrounding that conveyance.
We sold the lot back to Bernie. He was going to build a house. We put the restrictive covenant in the deed and had an attorney draw it up so it would be all legal. We had no idea who would buy the lot, who would build, who would move into the house. We didn't know anything about it. We just simply sold it back to Bernie.
This is
So did you
called
sell it to the
foreshadowing.
Hopkins?
No, we sold it to Bernie Krallman.
All right. For the express purpose of building a house?
Correct. Yeah, we didn't even know the Hopkins at this time.
All right. But you did know he was going to build a house, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
We just didn't know who.
Yeah, this is where it got all messed up for a minute, but sorry guys. This was a brand new proof of concept in how I recorded this today. And I learned recording 2 streams at once sometimes does not work. There
Have
we
kids' bedrooms, which were smaller beds. A lot of them didn't have the setup for a CPAP. So lots of times we would just go in different bedrooms upstairs just so we could be away from the lights and then the loud music coming out of the speakers at all times. So we just tried to remove ourselves from our primary bedroom because was right next to where all this was happening.
All right. Let's go back to the start of the driveway project then.
Yes.
Tell me when you first noticed that this driveway was being built.
Well, there were construction trucks, and it was in May, early May, but there were construction trucks going on our property line and tearing down the trees along the property, big, beautiful trees. So we thought
Big,
maybe there was,
beautiful trees.
Tim was going to do more landscaping. We just didn't know. So we were out front and he was talking, there were a bunch of construction trucks. And Chuck asked, he said, hey, Tim, just what's going on? And Tim just ignored him and walked in the house. So Chuck walked down to the street to ask one of the construction guys, what's going on? And he said, oh, we're putting in a big driveway, a big building. I don't even know if he knew it was a grab, but whatever, a big thing's going on right there, right along your property line. So that's when we became aware of what was going on.
All right. And you don't know what day in May that was?
May 5th or 6th, maybe?
Okay. Would you swear to that?
No.
All right. Would you swear to nay?
Yes.
Well, you're swearing to everything you say.
Yeah, again, we're going to do our best not to speculate on any dates. If
Sure.
I ask you for a date and you just have a month,
You're
that's
asking
fine.
the day I noticed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
It was before we went over to show them the restrictive covenant. So it had to be a few days before that day.
Well, let's talk about that then. When you walked over to show him the restrictive covenant, who went and actually got, well, let me ask you, what did you go show him?
It was the copy of his deed with the restrictive covenant in it, which is this.
The same thing that
Yes.
you're holding up plaintiff's 28, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we thought maybe he wasn't aware of it, but then as you saw in the video, he says, I'm aware of the restrictive covenant. So he knew about it. But we were concerned that he would go into this big expense building this
Aw.
garage.
That's nice of
We didn't
her.
want any of that to happen. So as Chuck said, before you go to
He's
any
looking out
expense,
for him.
before any more construction's done, they had just torn down the trees and put in a gravel driveway. He wanted him to be aware of this, Tim to be aware of this.
And you've reviewed that video prior to court today, correct?
Yes,
Is that video a fair and accurate representation of the interaction that you had with Mr. Hopkins
yes,
on the date that it was taken?
yes.
Tell me a couple of things about this video. Who actually took this video?
Jordan Morris.
Who's Jordan Morris?
So he is a therapeutic massage.
Oh,
He's a therapist, does therapeutic massages that works for Chuck with his sarcoid and his heart. He just helps with the ligaments and the muscles that tighten up. But he also with Chuck's heart, there's a lot of things we couldn't do in the house, move things. So he was over on that day to help move some things around the house for us.
This is a time that we can stop.
Massage
and
therapist
continue the
slash
examination
mover.
After lunch.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could be back at 1:40, I'd say
Okay, so they go to
shall be
lunch.
deemed not to have occurred. We'll get an entry to you.
Ready to deal with this. Do you want to get?
If we had any heavy lift,
For some reason you can't complete your service. Did anyone here, the gentleman who just left, mentioned that he,
Mr. Morris, or you?
just right, we're all next to each other on the front porch,
And then where's the sheriff?
down on the street, Maxwell Drive.
Sure. Could you estimate how far away, how many feet?
However far their front yard is, I don't know.
Understood.
They have there's quite a space in the front yard, so it's way down on the Maxwell.
Understood. You reviewed that video in preparation for trial today.
Yes,
Is it fair and accurate representation of that exchange that you had with Mr. Hopkins?
yes,
Has anything been altered in that video in any way?
No.
All right. That's permission to publish to the jury.
yes. Did you get the problem?
Should be up.
Okay.
Okay.
What is this marked as?
This is plaintiff's 23.
Got on the lower left there.
Power on. Bluetooth connected.
The deed was restrictive. Okay, and I want to be neighborly, I'm not threatening at all. I did not hear you, sir. I'll be off the property, I just rang the doorbell. All I'm saying is this, above the design review, there's something more powerful, and that's a restricted covenant for a driveway on that side. I don't want.
It's always been restricted covenants.
Yes, sir. All I'm saying is, Tim, I want to be neighbor. You've been a great neighbor. I'm just informing you before you go to the expense. That's all I'm asking, sir.
I'll be going back to that if you'd like to take me down. So in that video, did you discuss the restricted covenants with Mr. Hopkins again?
yes. Chuck had a copy of it that he was showing him.
After the video or in the video?
Oh, no, in the video.
Okay. So paint that picture for me. There's a video cameras here. Where's Chuck?
We're all next to each other, and
Okay.
he's holding up the copy of the restrictive covenants.
Is that plaintiff's 28?
Yes.
So let me re-ask. After this video, did you have any other discussion directly with Mr. Hopkins about restrictive covenants? All right. Tell me what happened after this video.
We went down and talked to the policeman that was in the car. He observed Tim Hopkins' aggressive behavior and how he swore at us, and he observed all that.
I'm going to ask you specifically, don't tell me what the police officer said.
Oh, okay.
Well, after this video, it's presumed that you went home, correct?
Yes,
And then, did anything change about Mr. Hopkins' behavior?
yes. So that's when the harassment against us began after that.
All right, let's talk through that in chronological order. What's the first thing that you noticed personally?
The first thing was the backfiring of the cars and revving the engines in front of our house. Chuck and I were walking down Maxwell, and one of the cars would veer towards us like it was trying to hit us. So we stopped walking in the neighborhood. I went out to get the mail one day, and Tim Hopkins was out there and screamed that I was a whore and a dirtbag. So I ran back in the house. Our daughter was outside. Chuck was outside in the backyard, and he would scream, "Fuck you," to them, and then "Fuck you, Chuck." So it was very clear that it was directed at him. If we went outside, he would start blaring music from his speakers. It was very vulgar music about death and killing people.
It was that
He
black
would shine
people
lights
music.
at our house.
I didn't like that.
He sent an email.
So let's, before we move on.
Yeah.
You said you shone lights at your house. And we'll go through each of these things individually, but while we're there, I'm going to approach you with what's been marked as plaintiff's 25. Judge, if I may approach the witness.
Yes.
Is this the light that you're describing?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to hold on to that for one moment. Walk me through specifically why the light was a problem.
The light was originally, it would be directed into our living room, kitchen area where we were just watching TV. And then it specifically became directed into our master bedroom where we sleep.
Why do you think that those two things are connected? Why do you think that the restrictive covenants and the light are connected?
Because he had been our neighbor for all those years and we never ever had a light shining at our house from his house.
That started after this May 8th video.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to ask you just briefly to take a look at that picture. What does it depict?
This is what it would have turned
That's our
into if
view
Aaron
from
stayed in
our
the polycule.
the master bedroom, the window,
Which number is that?
25.
Okay, she's already asked this question, hasn't she? Or answered it?
Yes, I'm going to just specifically have her describe where the picture's taken from,
Okay,
which your master bedroom, correct?
Yes.
I asked for permission to publish 25 to the jury, Your Honor.
yes.
And if you could just hold up that picture for a lot of these pictures, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Hold up that light. I'm becoming afraid of the technology.
This one I know a lot more.
Okay, all right, fine. Thank you.
Did you get it?
Well,
Oh, hello, Violet. How are you doing? Welcome. Law Talk with Mike sent me. Oh, that's awesome.
suffice it to say that the picture of the light, it's rather bright, correct?
Yeah, and you don't have a Jackson portrayal
Yeah.
on Elm, that's not.
Well, we have the photo
Exhibit
here.
yeah.
Just,
Glad you're here,
that's
Violet.
probably
Good
the
one.
problem is it's a bright one.
Yeah.
So just show it to the
Yeah.
jury.
Publishing 25.
All right, walk me through why a light shining in your bedroom was a problem.
Well, it was at night when we were sleeping, so obviously it made it very difficult to sleep without light shining, and it would turn on and off. So as Chuck's sleep is very important, my sleep's important as well, but we couldn't sleep there. So we moved to other bedrooms in the house.
Did you try anything else to deal with the light issue other than moving bedrooms?
We eventually got some blackout blinds to put in. We installed blackout
Interesting.
blinds. Actually, the original spotlight was directed into our family area, so we installed blackout blinds there and then into our primary bedroom as well.
Member for
And did
21.
that completely fix the issue?
Thank you.
You were saying, you were describing the rest of this harassment, and we were at the spotlights shining through the window.
Okay, and also Tim sent Chuck some threatening emails after that said he was going to stick his pit bulls on us if we bothered him anymore. And shortly after that, our daughter was in the backyard and two of his dogs attacked her in our backyard, jumped on her and frightened her. Tim Hopkins also started throwing dog feces in our yard.
And was that captured on security camera footage?
Yes.
Have you reviewed some of that footage prior to
Yes.
today? Is it a fair and accurate representation
Yes.
of that incident?
Yes.
I asked for permission to publish plaintiff's 20.
Yes.
You should have brought the dog shit into court with him.
And before I press play, you recognize Mr. Hopkins in this video?
Yes.
All right, and is that timestamp accurate to the best of your recollection? You
Yes.
see on the top here?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. After viewing this video, did either yourself or your husband go check what had been thrown there?
Bluetooth connected.
Yes.
What had been thrown in that video?
It was dog feces.
Is this the only time that you found dog poop thrown in your yard?
No, it was for several months. This is when it all started and it continued throughout the summer.
You can take me down if you'd like. Thank you. All right, we've discussed the spotlights, we've discussed the music, we've discussed the dog poop. What else?
The verbal shouting
We've
and
discussed the shouting.
swearing at us, so we couldn't go outside. And then the
He's an
junk pile,
underdog.
he started to put a junk pile a little bit further down all along the property line, a crooked chain link fence that said keep out Goebels. And he put fake coyotes, like they're gonna attack us facing our yard, and just kept adding to this huge junk pile all along our property line.
Was that captured on your security footage as well at some point?
Yes,
This is a shit show.
Have you reviewed that picture before coming to court today?
yes,
Was it a fair and accurate representation of that junk pile?
yes.
53. Your Honor, if I may approach with what's been marked as plaintiff
Yes.
53.
For the remainder, I appreciate the courtesy, but for the remainder of your examination and throughout the trial, you can approach the witness.
Thank you, Judge.
That's it.
You may have published in jury.
Yes.
Would you
Oh, how
request
cute.
that I continue to
Pro
request
Hoc
that?
Vice lawyer doesn't know local rules.
Plaintiff 53.
If there's an objection, just tell me before.
So walk me through, this is a messy yard, but walk me through why you believe that this was related in some way to the restricted covenants.
Your Honor, calls for speculation.
I can read.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Because none of these things that we've been talking about started until after the day we went to Tim Hopkins and showed him the restrictive covenant. And we had been neighbors for many years before that. And none of these things ever happened.
Okay. Was the project itself disturbing to you in any way?
Well, yes, because the construction trucks would come to our property on our side to start the construction. And, you know, it's just like with anything, there's lots of trucks and dust and things blowing, but it was all right on the property line right next to our bedroom.
Okay. I'm going to approach with what's been marked as plaintiff 24. Take a look at this picture and explain to the jury what this depicts.
That's a cement truck, I believe. And as we had stated, we let Tim know about the restrictive covenant, which he said he already knew about before any of this happened. And then the cement truck is coming to pour concrete to build, he continued to build this structure.
And again, at the risk of being repetitive, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the construction scene?
Yes,
All right, is this in the same condition as when you saw it?
yes, with the cement truck, yes.
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 Is there anything different or altered in that photo
No.
from what you could see?
There's a dumpster and a portalette and a cement truck.
All right, and those things are exactly as you recall them?
Yes.
All right, in that photograph, where would your master bedroom fall? Is it shown in that picture?
This white right here
Yes.
is our house. That's where our bedroom. Our bedroom's actually, that's the corner wall. So our bedroom is more like right here.
Okay. About halfway down that driveway, am I saying that correctly?
No, more towards the corner.
More towards the corner?
Yeah, the back of the house. The
Understood.
backyard.
So if you had to, well, I won't ask you to estimate, but how far away from your bedroom were these trucks while the construction was on?
I mean, just a few feet.
Never ask a woman what 6 inches is.
You've heard the phrase a stone's throw?
A stone's throw.
Could you throw a stone from your bedroom
Yes,
onto that driveway?
easily.
Could you individually?
Yes, I could.
All right. The only thing we haven't talked about is, at some point, did he start playing loud sounds in the morning?
Yes, so the sounds began, it started out as vulgar music with death and killing and all that. And then it started to play
black people
like
music.
gunshots and sledgehammers and like attack dogs barking, just very like aggressive, very frightful sounds. And they would play on and off throughout the day and night.
How early in the morning would they start?
Oh, before 6.
And how late in the evening would they go
It
till?
was intermittent. It could go anytime during the day or night. There was no pattern.
All right, talk to me about what effect this behavior had on your home life.
Well, yeah, it was, of course, it was very stressful. We stopped sleeping in the primary bedroom and slept in other parts of the house. our daughter was at home studying. This was during the COVID lockdown. So she was taking online classes, and she had trouble listening to the online classes just because of the noise and the lights and everything that was the music. So she had asked for a continuance on her classes due to this, but she was granted.
I can't concentrate with all that black people
As I
music.
mentioned, we have several grandchildren, and we didn't let them come over. We told them not to come over to our house because we were afraid if they were in the backyard playing that these things would happen, or Tim would start shouting at them and scare them. So we just became very isolated.
Right. Did you take any kind of affirmative steps to put an end to the project?
Yes, so we filed a injunction to stop the construction because we saw that obviously from all these things that construction continued. So we filed an injunction, I believe it's called a TRO, to stop construction.
And are you, I mean, you said you're a school teacher. Are you trained as an attorney?
No.
Is your husband?
No.
So who did you hire to take care of that?
We hired Tom Grossman.
Talk to me just a little bit about Mr. Grossman. How do you know him?
I don't know him well. We knew he was a neighbor. This was during lockdown in COVID. And so we weren't going out a lot. And my husband remembered that he was an attorney. We had not dealt with him much at all, but he contacted Tom to help with this matter, the TRO. And he's the one, I believe, that filed it.
But certainly neither yourself nor your husband are an attorney, correct?
No.
So let's start from where you've hired Mr. Grossman to file this TRO. Walk me through that process. What's the first step in that process from your perspective?
I don't know much about it. I just understand that it was filed and that in a testimony, Tim Hopkins said that, yes, he received it. He was aware of it, but he still continued the construction of the garage and driveway.
For how long? Did he stop at some point?
Not at that time, I don't remember, but I know he continued. And that's when he got the TRO that must have aggravated him, because that's when he really ramped up the junk pile. And that's when the sledgehammers and bullets and dogs barking started to come out of his speakers. So clearly that had upset him that he got this TRO.
Okay. Did the garage end up getting built at any point?
No. It was started, but it was not completed.
And again, do you recall when the construction actually stopped?
Later on, my understanding, if I remember correctly, is when we finally got a settled agreement, and that he would stop the construction and tear up the garage or whatever he had done. He also, the other thing he did is he poured concrete after the TRO that he had received. That's when the concrete came, and he poured it into the foundation, knowing that there was a restriction to stop construction. And that's when he poured the concrete.
All right. So during this, and we'll keep this from before the settlement agreement.
Okay.
Before the settlement agreement. So between the restraining order and the settlement agreement, did you deal directly with Mr. Hopkins at all?
No.
Even once?
No.
All right. Who did?
No one dealt with him. It was all through attorneys.
Okay. So who, for you, that would be?
Tom Grossman.
All right. Did you personally negotiate with Mr. Hopkins in any way?
No.
Did you make any promises to Mr. Hopkins?
No.
Did you speak to him directly about this case?
No.
When's the last time that you and Mr. Hopkins talked?
When we went to his porch in May to show him the restrictive covenant.
So that video in May is the last time you spoke?
That's correct.
Right. Did you offer testimony in any case?
Yes, and this is going ahead, but we had applied for a civil stalking protection order against him. And so I testified, and my daughter as well in that case. That's the only time we testified.
Did you offer testimony in the driveway case?
No.
Did you offer testimony in Mr. Hopkins' criminal case?
No.
So just to clear up questions about this timeline, these behaviors that you've told us about, the shouting, the loud music, all of that, was that before the TRO or after the TRO?
It started before the TRO.
Okay.
And then it continued after the TRO, but it escalated.
All right. So you said that you had filed for a CSPO. That's a civil stalking protection order, correct?
Yes.
All right. What was the basis of that filing?
That initiated with the death threat that he gave to my husband in court in that October.
All right, well, let's center in on that then. Were you present in court when this death threat was delivered?
I was not.
Why not?
I wasn't in a part of that case.
Okay.
I had not, I was still substituting, and I was watching my grandchildren, so I did not participate in all of the court proceedings unless I was testifying, which was in the civil stalking case.
When did you become aware of the death threat?
The day it happened, when Chuck came home from court.
Do you recall what day that was?
I believe it's October 1st.
So explain to me that scene. Paint that picture for me. When did Chuck tell you?
Objection hearsay, Your Honor. Paint a scene. I mean, yeah, it sounds like it's calling for hearsay.
Sounds that way, unless you're looking, I don't know. How could that not be hearsay?
Explain to me when your husband told you and what your reaction was, Judge.
Okay. Not necessarily what your husband told you, just when your husband told you and how did you react?
Well, may we approach, Judge?
Sure. No, he's asking you a question. I'm just saying sustain the objection.
And we'll move on. Tell me the effect that that death threat had on your home life. Did that impact your relationship with your husband in any way?
Oh, yes, our whole home life. We have a security alarm that we've always had. We would just set it
He's
at
going to
night.
get into loss of
And Chuck
consortium
started
right now.
setting it 24/7, like all day long. He would set it because he was truly afraid that Tim was going to come to our house and hurt him. Or if he was out in the backyard, try to hurt him. So he stopped going outside. He stopped getting the mail. He stopped going on walks. He was always looking to make sure, he would check the doors to make sure they were locked. So it was very stressful.
And this was,
Lady, all you had to do is put some speed bumps or pick up the wheelchair ramp and you're fine. I mean, this guy isn't the most threatening of people. I'm not trying to make light of his condition, but good Lord. You're expecting the jury to believe that you're terrified of this guy in a wheelchair?
October, you said it was October of what year?
2020.
Okay, so was Mr. Hopkins still living next door?
Yes.
Yes.
So what happened next legally after this death threat is made? How does that progress?
So Chuck went to court to get a civil stalking protective order, which was granted right away. And then Mitzi, my daughter, and I went to court, I believe it was that November then, to testify in that case.
Okay. And did you eventually, eventually this led to settlement agreements, correct?
Yes.
Could you explain to us how we ended up at a settlement agreement?
It was one of the hearings in court, Tim Hopkins' attorney, I believe it was Bradley Gibson, I'm not sure. He's had so many attorneys, I can't keep them straight. But he came to our attorney, Tom Grossman, saying that Tim wanted to settle and work out a settlement agreement.
And did that result in a settlement agreement?
It did.
All right. I'm going to approach with what has been marked. It's plaintiff's 37. Just look at that. Is that the settlement agreement that resulted from that?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. Is there a signature line on that?
Yes.
Who else signed that?
Tim Hopkins, Diane Goebel, and Charles Goebel.
Is that something that the judge forced you to sign?
No, it was agreed upon by the attorneys and Tim Hopkins and us.
Okay. Judge, I apologize. This is plaintiff's 36 requires minor redactions.
What the hell? Is that like a clown suitcase where he just pulls out like all these kinds of things? That looks like my dad's old Fuller brush case.
Right. Other than the settlement agreement, did you all agree to any other terms?
Yes, a 5-year civil stalking protective order that Tim voluntarily agreed to and signed.
Okay.
Be right back.
I'm approaching you with what's been marked as plaintiff's 36. You take a look at that.
Yes,
Is that the document you're referring to?
yes.
All right. Are there any specific terms in the civil stalking protection order?
It was for 5 years, and it included, of course, to stop all the harassment he'd been doing towards us, and he couldn't approach us. And also the cars, he could not backfire the cars in front of our house. That had to stop.
And you said that was by agreement. Is there any indication on that document that it's by agreement, either his signature or some other indication?
It says consent agreement on the form, and then it has our signature, all of our signatures on it.
All of ours meaning?
Tim Hopkins, Charles, myself, Tom Grossman, Stephen Kilborn.
All right. So Mr. Hopkins' signature does appear on that document.
Yes.
All right. Did these two documents fix all of your issues with Mr. Hopkins?
Yes, well, for a while, then all the harassment had stopped.
Right. For about how long?
So this was signed in March of 2021, and it lasted for a few months until May of 2021, so a couple months.
May of 2021 is why is that date significant?
Because that's when Tim started backfiring in front of our house again with his cars, and just all hours doing that very intentionally in front of our house. So he hadn't done it since this was signed for a couple months, and then it just started back up in May of 2021.
Did you capture that backfiring on video?
Yes.
All right.
We did.
Have you reviewed that video prior to today?
Yes.
No, it's on. This is the video that we saw in opening statements. Is this the video that you're referring to for the
Yes.
backfiring? Permission to publish, Judge.
Yes.
Oh, very sorry. Thank you. Let me ask you a couple of questions about this video. First of all, is that audio a fair and accurate representation of what you could hear from your house?
Yes.
We saw a car drive by in the first instance. Is that about what cars normally sound like from your house?
Yes.
What's the speed limit on your street?
Well, it's a residential street, so I would assume 25 miles per hour.
What's the next street down from yours?
Well, there's Rayner, which is another side street, and then Mason Road would be the next main street from our house.
Do you know what the speed limit is on Rayner?
Same, it's all residential. I would assume it's the same.
How far away are you from a state highway?
Oh, several miles.
How far are you away from 71?
Oh, gosh. I don't know distances. I know it takes me 10 minutes to get there in a car. So
Is there any 50 or 60 mile an hour speed limit street within a mile of your home? Do you know?
not that I'm aware of.
How often do you hear cars that loud on your street?
Never.
Have you heard any since Mr. Hopkins moved out?
No.
Did you hear any before Mr. Hopkins moved in?
No.
Does he always drive his cars like that?
No, he's shown us after the settlement agreement in March, before he started this in May, he would drive those exact same cars and they wouldn't backfire or the engine wouldn't rev. It was just, none of those things happened for those few months after the settlement agreement.
Are you aware of anything that precipitated the backfiring starting back up again?
We didn't know at the time what had caused that, but later we were informed that he had sued his.
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
Overruled. Go ahead and finish your answer.
He had sued his surgeon and lost the lawsuit and was not awarded any money. And that's what, again, he was upset about that. So that's when these noises started.
Your Honor, I move to strike foundation.
I agree now that I've heard the answer. Just disregard that. Whenever I tell you to disregard it, that means you don't talk about it in deliberations. You don't utilize it in your consideration.
During this time period, and we'll say from after the settlement agreement, what was your relationship with Mr. Hopkins like?
Well, we didn't have any contact with him because of the civil stalking protective order. So we had no contact with him.
So to avoid repetition, when you say you haven't spoken to Mr. Hopkins since May 8th, is that true till today?
Yes, it was only through attorneys when there were cases involved.
Do you know when Mr. Hopkins moved?
It was, I don't know the exact date again, maybe fall of 2021. I'm not sure. It
Well, can you tell me if it was before or after the Enquirer article?
was before,
How much longer before?
not quite a year before, but it was in 2021 and the article was in 2022.
So obviously this dispute didn't end when he moved away. What kept the dispute?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel testify.
I agree. You can ask a question.
Okay. Did this dispute end after the settlement agreement?
No.
What kept it going?
The publications on the website, social media, Facebook posts, that there was this conspiracy that my husband and I extorted Tim Hopkins for money just to be, and we did it. And that's what caused his criminal arrest and conviction.
Objection,
And we
Your
were all
Honor.
part of this
Objection.
conspiracy.
Please stop.
Your Honor, counsel was admonished.
Just ignore that. I'm striking that last statement and move on.
Mildly.
So the settlement agreement goes in place, and you said there's Facebook posts, there's Enquirer article. Are there any other lawsuits?
There were some, and again, the attorneys took care of it, but I know that Tim Hopkins sued us in Warren County, in Hamilton County, and then later in federal court. So he continued these lawsuits after he moved away.
And did you sue Tim Hopkins?
Ours was, the only thing I'm aware of is part of the settlement agreement. He was supposed to clean up his yard and get it back to normal, and he did not do that in the time allowed. So I think, and again, I wasn't there, but I believe that.
Well, I'm going to ask you not to speculate. Okay.
Yeah, well, I know there was a court hearing about that.
All right. How did the Warren County Police end up getting involved in this case?
The Warren County Police?
Warren County Sheriffs. How did police officers end up getting called out to your residence?
Are we in May of 2021?
No, after the settlement agreement, after the protective order, did the police become involved?
Well, yes, that's when. Are you talking about when? I'm
gonna make the question more direct, and if I just may have permission to avoid issues.
Yes.
Did you call the police to report a violation of the protective order?
Yes.
All right. Why did you call the police to report a violation of a protective order?
Because Tim started backfiring his cars in front of our house and revving their engines loudly and just all different times of the day.
How many times did you end up calling the police?
We only called a few times. We let several go. And one of the first calls, we said, we don't want you to come out or do anything. We just want you to be aware that this is starting again. And that we do have a signed civil stalking protective order that Tim Hopkins had voluntarily signed that he agreed he would not do this.
Did you ever ask the police to arrest Mr. Hopkins?
No.
Did you ever hear your husband ask the police to arrest Mr. Hopkins?
He simply provided him with the video came from our security camera, directly from it. And the police officer saw that, and he saw our civil stalking protective order that we had. And that's all we knew. We had no idea what was going to happen after that. We just let him aware that he had broken the protective order, and it was out of our hands after that. We didn't know what was going to happen.
All right. So let's move on to the Facebook posts, the Enquirer article. Tell me about the first time that you became aware Mr. Hopkins was publishing statements about this incident.
It was around, it's probably
I would object to the form of the question. States that's not evidence.
Overruled.
Mr. Hopkins is not publishing anything.
Council approach.
Did you first become aware of Facebook posts involving this incident?
I want to say it was in 2022, late April, maybe. Some neighbors walking by had mentioned us. Have you seen the Facebook post about you and your husband? You better check into this. It's really, really bad things that Tim Hopkins is accusing you of.
Did you end up viewing those Facebook posts?
Yes.
All right.
We're going to approach with what's been marked as plaintiff's 44.
Yes.
Is this one of those Facebook posts?
Yes.
What is the name of the account that's actually posting?
Ryan Hopkins, his son,
How do you know that Ryan Hopkins is Tim Hopkins' son?
because they were our neighbors for many years and we knew him.
Have you met Ryan Hopkins?
Yes.
All right. So if you could, is this Facebook post in the same condition as when you first saw it?
Yes.
Is this what you recall being posted?
Yes.
And when you said late April, early May, I think I heard you say you were referring to these posts.
Correct.
All right. Could you please read that post for the jury?
From the beginning?
From the beginning.
Okay.
This can be problematic. Can you just put it on there? And
I can. If I may have permission to publish, I'm just going to scroll through though.
yes.
We had a problem with the envelope, but I have it here.
Your Honor, Matt, a lot of objection before it's.
Yes. Did you want to approach on it? Yeah.
Manipulated any of it?
No.
Have you changed the audio in any way?
No.
More importantly, is it accurate to what you could hear from your house?
Yes.
All right. If you'll turn to page 3,
This part, she's just verifying that she didn't doctor.
there's a section on page 3 that starts with
Video.
Thomas Grossman is their lawyer. Could you read that for the jury, please?
Thomas Grossman is their lawyer and has maliciously harassed my family by using the city department to his and his client's advantage. Is it fair or ethical for Mr. Grossman, only a city of Mason, has special privileges that a normal citizen has access to? This appears to be an ethical conduct problem for several government actors. With such special privilege, how can one receive a fair trial?
Did you request any accommodations from the Warren County courts?
None.
All right, we'll move on. On page 4,
Good idea.
Thomas Grossman used his leverage. Could you read that statement for the jury?
Thomas Grossman used his leverage and participated in fraud when his clients, under his direction, lied about a death threat, submitted inaccurate video evidence to leverage me into paying $54,000, and then attempted to cover their lies and indiscretions by ratcheting up in order to get me arrested by Mason police with criminal charges.
Let me take those in order. Did Mr. Grossman instruct you to lie to the court?
No,
Have you lied to the court?
no,
Was the purpose of the settlement agreement to obtain money from Mr. Hopkins?
No.
What was the purpose of the settlement agreement?
to stop the harassment, to stop and to get the civil stalking protective order
Why were those important to you?
for our safety and our fear of Mr. Hopkins, and then so we could have peace again in our home like we had before.
Also on page 4, beginning May 18th. Could you read that statement?
Beginning May 18th, Goebel, Grossman, and Bennett gave me until August 1st, 2021 to return the property to its original condition. Even though their concern was the garage and service entrance, in all reality, the entire list below has to be completed. Keep in mind, all items below started May 18th, 2020.
All right. Did you have any involvement with Bennett? Do you know who Bennett is?
I know who Bethany Bennett is. She was involved with the courts, but I never spoke to her. I really don't know what her role was.
All right. And this August 1st, 2021 date, do you know where that comes from?
No.
Is that an accurate representation of the settlement agreement?
I know there was a time frame for the yard to be cleaned up. I don't know the exact dates of that.
All right. Let's go to page 5. State of Ohio, Bethany Bennett. Could you read that statement to the jury, please?
I'm trying to find it. Oh. State of Ohio, Bethany Bennett, Thomas Grossman, and Charles Diane and Mitzi Goebel, that's our daughter, required me to move immediately from my Mason ADA compliant residence.
So I'll stop you there. Just that statement that you read. Did anything in the settlement agreement require?
Can't force, no, that's a total lie.
Did you ever request that Mr. Hopkins move?
No,
Was that part of any of the agreements that you had
no,
with him?
never.
Also on page 5,
Are we on 5? Sorry,
same page.
same page.
Well, let's go to the next page. Page 6. There's one that starts, in short, Grossman and Goebbels.
Yes.
Could you read that?
In short, Grossman and Goebbels did all of this to coerce me into paying $54,000 by using fraud on a court, fraud against my family, lying to Mason Police, lying to Mason Municipal Center, and lying to judges at Warren County Common Pleas Court. I estimate, based on my experience running multi-billion-dollar companies, that this has cost the taxpayers of Mason over $350K.
So
There's more to this, which I
let's
will.
stop. I'm going to stop you there.
Oh, sure.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm going to stop you there. Did you do all this to coerce a $54,000 payment?
No.
And again, not to belabor the point, what was the purpose of the
But I'm
settlement
gonna
agreement?
go ahead and do it.
The
anyway.
purpose of the settlement.
Objection.
How we go? You can state it again.
Not to belabor the
purpose of
point, but I'm going to tell
settlement
opposing
agreement
counsel it's
was
an
to
applicant
get
answered
the
objection.
harassment to stop, to put his house back the way it was before he started the construction, and to get the civil stalking protective order for 5 years because we were afraid of him.
Let's go through these fraud accusations. Have you ever committed fraud on a court?
No,
Have you ever lied to the police?
no,
Do you know what fraud against Mr. Hopkins' family means?
no.
No further questions on that exhibit. We'll move on to plaintiffs 3. You recognize that document?
Yes.
What is that?
This is the Free the Purple Lambo website.
The same one that we just read?
This is a different link, I believe. There's several different links to that.
Explain to me what you mean by several different links.
When I read the website, it would say you could click on this to find out more, or click on that, and it would just give more information.
So this is,
This I read, this is like the cover. I'm not sure what you call it. When you click on Free the Purple Ammo, this is what I read.
all right. And is this in the same condition as when you first saw it?
Yes,
Has anything been altered and flipped through
yes.
as far as you need?
Yes.
This is in the same condition as when
Yes.
you read it? All right. I asked, has anything in this exhibit been altered?
No.
Okay. Exhibit 3 on page 1, there's a statement. We did not socialize or speak to. Did you read that?
Yes, if you can see where it is. Oh, here. We did not socialize or speak to Charles, Diane, and Melissa Goebel and went out of our way to avoid our neighbor.
Is that a true statement?
No, as I said, we'd gone out to dinner after he and his first wife moved in. And they had been to our house for our daughter's graduation. We were walking on the street. We saw him in the backyard.
Hello.
Hello.
How long have you been there?
10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Mm.
Hi, Hella.
Hi.
I didn't think you were coming on, so I wasn't watching for you.
No, you weren't. You're not paying attention to anything. Not chat, not me, not stream. Then
No, I was debating whether or not to make a joke about if his case has a leg to stand on, but I decided against it.
all right. Yeah, you're so
How are you?
quick-witted.
I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Thoughts?
Look, I haven't been paying attention, so.
Fair enough.
But hey, it's not my stream, so.
Good enough.
Also on page 1, there's a sentence that begins the
This is Hella,
restrictive
everyone.
covenant. Did you read that?
Oh, yeah, let me find it. The restrictive covenant affords Goebel's final say on anything improvement on our property. I learned that my lot essentially makes Goebel our permission-based neighbor, and Goebel's kept this restrictive covenant from me for 14 years.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of specific questions about that statement. Do you have any other restrictive covenants other than what's contained in the deed that's already in evidence?
No.
That's the only restrictive covenant you're aware of?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to ask you about that. However, did you do anything affirmative to hide these restrictive covenants?
No, it was in the deed that we sold to Bernie Krillman.
All right. Do you recall who recorded that deed?
It was a deed attorney, and I don't know his name, but we have it documented somewhere. We had him do the
Useful
deed
for some
us with
things,
the restrictive
Justin.
covenant in it. I don't remember his name.
Did you instruct him in any way to conceal this
Hey,
transfer?
Violet.
No, not at all.
Did you accept payment for that transfer? That is, did you sell this lot back to Mr. Croman?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're talking
Also,
to
exhibit
Dolly.
3 on page 1, Goebbels never said a word. Did you read that?
Goebbels never said a word about any of these massive projects until May 8th, 2020.
What kinds of projects did Mr. Hopkins do on his property?
I mean, he put like a pool in or a koi pond. There were some things that he added in the very back on the other side to his yard.
Did you ever go over and speak with him about any of those projects?
No.
Did you observe Chuck to go speak with him about any of those projects?
I think he might have just, said that your yard looks really nice or.
Objection, Your Honor. Answer calls for hearsay.
Hearsay.
I don't think it's being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, so I'll overrule the objection. Subject to, if I'm wrong, I'll tell the jury to ignore it. Go ahead.
More pointedly, are you aware of any times that your husband has spoken to Mr. Hopkins about those projects you've mentioned?
No.
Okay. Also on page 1, the Mason Police, it's in bold and underlined.
Yes.
The Mason Police, could you read that, please?
The Mason police were at
Real quick, thank you, Texas. This is the pool and koi pond that he built. So,
Okay, is it which one's this? The defendant or the
defendant's
plaintiff?
house. You can see
so
there's some
n-
construction going on.
so Nubby guy.
Yeah,
So the koi pond's the smaller one.
yeah, smaller one. Yeah,
It's a pretty big koi pond considering
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, it
that-
is a really
that-
big one.
Yeah, so the humans get that rectangle,
Yeah,
and the kois get the circle, which is really, if you were to measure the perimeter of the circle.
Probably about the same size.
It's about the same size.
Close to.
So the koi's like they get about as much space to swim as the humans.
Yeah. Well, they need a lot of space, but yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How many koi's are there?
I mean, they're really expensive, and you need a pretty deep pond.
Yeah.
Especially in
I don't know.
Arizona. But I mean,
I don't know much about koi's.
then you got to worry about heron and birds eating your koi.
Heron.
Yeah, I
What's
think
a
that's
heron?
what they are. It's a big bird that like grabs your fish.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to get coy about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Heron, yeah.
wow. Like, okay, so it looks very expensive
Very,
and
very.
very garish and awful.
They're beautiful when maintained properly, but they're a pain in the ass to run and keep healthy. You need like 3 feet deep at least, yeah. Because they're more cold water fish. They prefer
Right.
the cold. Yeah. So
I need to get I've never, honestly, I don't think I've ever
yeah.
seen a proper koi pond. So, I mean, I know what koi's look like, but
Yeah.
I'd need to like see one. Maybe I'll
'Cause you
just
have that whole thing against fish, so
I do have a thing against fish. And look, no offense to koi's, they're pretty and stuff, but fish, like, they live and breathe their own excrement.
yes.
It's true, they do. So I
True.
just keep me away from fish.
That is fair. Okay.
Hey, dear Oyo Toys, how are you, Phil?
the hell?
And thank you for your thoughts there, Tracy. Your hair looks nice, Helen. Are you feeling better? I'd like to say I'm feeling better. Not really, but thank you for saying my hair looks
Oh.
nice.
Hopkins residents 51 times in 95 days, with Goebels representing 63.85% of all police activity on Maxwell Drive from May 8th through late August of 2020.
Did you call the police 51 times in that time
No.
period?
That's been documented. It's not even close to that.
How many?
It was like 8 or 10.
All right.
But it was over, yeah.
No, that's the, we'll move on. On page 2,
Oh, will we?
there's a sentence that starts, Charles Diane Goebel.
Charles Diane Goebel ramped up their harassment of my family in an effort to push a monetary settlement that included conditions.
Is that an accurate statement?
No,
No.
At any point, did you determine to ramp up harassment of the defendant?
no.
Also on page 2, surprised at my front door.
Surprised at my front door, I was served with a CSPO, which is the Civil Stalking Protective Order, on October 7th, 2020 at my residence, based on the allegation I had made a death threat, which never happened. On October 6th, Charles Goebel filed a civil stalking protection order against me. In his hearing, Magistrate Crossley Tate asked Mr. Goebel, who helped him prepare the document. He stated Thomas Grossman. Mr. Goebel claimed that I stated, if they take my son away from me, I'll kill you, I'll kill you.
That's the end of the statement that I'm asking about.
Okay,
And again, are you aware of, or has your husband ever reported any other death threat to you?
yes,
Well, sorry. Is this referring to the death threat that we saw on video in the opening statement?
yes.
All right. So on exhibit 3, on page 3, that's the next one from where you are. There's a bold section. What I know to be true and have learned so far. Could you read that?
The alleged death threat did not occur, confirmed by a sheriff deputy who was less than 20 feet away from interaction during his deposition on November 30th, 2021, an affidavit of Richard Knott, who was 2 feet away from the interaction with Charles Goebel. Please see picture of Goebel posing for the camera, leaning in to me in a wheelchair. He looks really scared.
On page 4, there's a section that says, it is not possible. Could you read that statement, please?
I'm trying to find it.
It is not possible for me.
How far down is it? Oh, wait, no, that's not it.
Should be towards the top.
Furthermore, it is not possible for me to make the car create the sound as heard in the audio video. Driving is difficult for me because of my disability, and all my cars have hand or left foot accelerators installed.
So my question is simply about the sound that we heard on this video. Again, and not to belabor the point, but is the sound that we heard on this video an accurate representation of what you heard in real life?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. You're talking about the sound of the vehicle.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, to me, it was louder than that. The one we got is the direct representation from our security camera that you saw.
Okay.
Okay, this is time to take an afternoon break.
And I'm done with this exhibit. It's great timing.
Okay. We'll take a
Thank you,
break.
discount Ted Cruz.
It's great timing.
By FedEx, Mr.
Okay,
Ford.
so is that just what is?
Oh, shut up, David.
All right, this top portion here. When Hopkins received Goebel's agreement, would you read that, please?
When Hopkins received Goebel's agreement with their new terms on May 17th, Goebel's increased their demands from $10,000 to $48,600. Landscaping of their choice to their liking. $30,000 in penalties if not done to Goebel's satisfaction, or if Hopkins breaks any agreed upon terms. This agreement was orchestrated by Tom Grossman.
Do you know, did you ever have an agreement regarding a $30,000 penalty?
No.
Do you know what this is referring to?
No, I do not.
Have you ever signed any agreement like that?
No.
Damn it, I was premature. Wait, I'm not the plaintiff.
On page 6,
Now I can kick you off your own stream.
see the portion that begins, Wiss presents the case
Yes.
to Prosecutor Bennett. I'm
Yes.
just going to ask you to read that one into the record.
On July 13th, 2020, Detective Wiss states that I also presented the facts of this case to Prosecutor Bennett of the Mason Municipal Court. She advised this case does not meet the criminal element to establish probable cause to charge extortion. And it's referenced his police report, Detective Wiss.
Good question, Tracy. What are we trying to
It's not a
like?
question. Just
No,
wanted that
apparently
read into the
Warren
record.
County only shows
And the final page of this
dead
exhibit,
bodies and autopsy
here's the portion
photos.
that starts here.
All right, of course.
What I know to be true.
This
I'm
is
going to ask you to read
218.
that entire section into the record, please.
The death threat was a lie. Expect to testify. The purple Lambo May 10th audio video evidence used for the civil stalking protective order is inaccurate, not what human cars would hear. Eric Hansen, city manager, who was over Mason Police, got involved May 7th, 2020. Thomas Grossman targeted my minor son Ryan and attempted to use him as leverage. Bethany Bennett is related to Kathy Grossman, mayor and wife to Tom Grossman. She was involved with Tom Grossman's handling of this case. Goebbels received preferential treatment by police based on unsubstantiated and untrue statements, validated and perpetuated by Grossman. Mason Police relied on this farce to arrest a handicapped disabled man for 4 days, torturing him and causing bodily harm.
Do you know any of those statements to be false?
They all are.
And
Violet,
then finally,
I get
the
these
free purple Lambo.
presents
I see.
sometimes.
I'm approaching you with what's been marked as
Just
claim
goes
C.
like that
You
at
can take a look
Dolly.
at that.
Happens when he's a dick.
And I'll have the same set of questions. Could you please explain to the jury what that is?
It's from the Free Purple Lambo website.
Can't help it.
Is that in the same condition as the first time that you saw it?
Yes.
Has it been materially altered in any way?
No.
Okay. I'm going to retrieve that if I may to publish it.
Yes.
Thank you. So this here, creating a false narrative. Would you read that, please?
Creating a false narrative in order to control how the legal system treats another human being seems to be a common theme and strategy in the city of Mason and Warren County. This is Grossman's tactics in order to sway public and official opinion to their desired outcomes. It is unethical and unbecoming of any attorney or public official. I've heard I'm not your first victim. There are others.
All right. I'm going to go back one page on this exhibit. Could you read the title of that section?
Tim Hopkins unanswered questions for Goebel and Grossman.
Okay. All right. I'm going to approach you with what has been, and Judge, a digital copy of this article has been marked and entered. This is the only physical copy of the paper. If you would like me to mark this, happy to do so as plaintiffs 1A or however the court would prefer.
Well, it's really up to you. If you want that admitted, you can do that. You can move to admit it. If you want to substitute a digital copy and you think it is accurate.
The substance is the same, Judge, and we submitted, one was already submitted with the plaintiff's exhibits.
Okay.
If you're on
Yes, one to this. And
previous objection,
go ahead.
paper we have.
Well, let's take them in order. Could you please explain to the jury what the plaintiff's exhibit 1 is?
Yes, this is the digital article that came from the Cincinnati Enquirer, the digital version.
Have you reviewed the written article, or sorry, this version?
Yes,
Does that version have the same text as this version?
yes,
Are you certain?
yes.
All right. For now, we'll stick with plaintiff's 1.
Okay.
Wait a minute. We're still on the plaintiff?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're about to get to cross.
So when did you first see this article? Okay. How did you first see it?
It was delivered to our house. We get the Enquirer.
When you say it, this version?
Yes,
I'm going to approach with what I will mark as plaintiff's 1A, if I may.
Yes.
This is 1A. And again, for the clarity of this record, is the text of the article contained
Jesus.
in 1A the same as the text in Article 1?
yes,
Or plaintiff's 1. So when you say this was delivered to our house, you mean,
yes. I know. And we also get the digital version, the online version as well.
Okay.
So I can't remember which one we saw first, but that was.
understood. Could you, on 1, that's the digital version, could you flip to the second page? Is there a picture on the second page?
Yes,
Who is pictured on the second page?
Tim Hopkins.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'd ask for permission to publish.
Yes.
Apparently, judge gets snippy at the plaintiff for taking so long today. He tells them they're
This is
only
Mr.
going to
Hopkins?
Friday.
Yes,
All right. So Mike, were you ever charged with extortion?
by Tim Hopkins. He accused of that. We've never been charged with extortion. No.
Has any law enforcement agency ever charged you with
No.
extortion? Have you ever been to criminal court for charges of extortion? Has your husband?
No.
Move on to this third page.
What, Heller?
It's a
Can you
yes
read
or
this
no
top paragraph
answer.
into the record, please?
Have you ever been charged with
Hopkins believes
extortion?
This
Yes
is
or
part of
no?
an extortion attempt by his neighbor, Charles Goebel, and Goebel's lawyer, Warren County Commissioner Tom Grossman.
Same question. Have you ever been charged with extortion?
No.
Has your husband ever been charged
No.
with extortion? Was Mr. Grossman your lawyer?
Yes,
Do you believe that you are the Goebel referenced in this article?
yes, yes.
Go to the sixth, the top paragraph.
Yes, I lived next to the man for 14 years, put in $80,000 gallon koi pond, about 100 tons of stone,
Jeez.
a pool and an outdoor kitchen, and he never said a thing.
80,000 gallon koi pond. That's freaking huge.
I told you it was a big bloody koi pond, didn't I? Hey, I say compare it to the.
I had
To
a
the swimming
125
pond.
gallon fish tank for a while. That's like 6 feet by 18 by 2 feet tall, roughly.
Well, I want to know
And-
how big the pool was, because if that pool, like, you wouldn't think they'd make a small pool.
No,
So it was probably the same as the small pool in area.
yeah,
Maybe not depth, but area.
yeah.
And I reckon they
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
make
never checked.
themselves a small pool. Like, it'd probably be
To
a
anything.
25-meter pool, whatever that is in your ridiculous measurements.
Until he saw the opportunity to make some money. Hopkins told the Inquirer during a phone interview on March 15th.
Okay. Did Mr. Hopkins, in fact, put in a koi pond?
Yes,
Was there stone in that koi pond?
I assume so. I never saw it.
You don't know.
Couldn't see it from our backyard, no.
What about a pool
I could see a pool, yes,
and an outdoor kitchen?
yes.
We're almost done with
Why didn't
direct.
you object to those projects?
Because they were in his backyard on the other side and in the back of his yard. They weren't on the property line right next to our primary bedroom.
Was it because you didn't think you could make money off of it?
Objection leading.
That doesn't really suggest an answer. I'll overrule.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Was it because, did you not object because you didn't think you could make money off of Mr.
No.
Goebel?
No,
So is that statement true?
this statement is false.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't really understand extortion.
Hmm.
Moving page 7. Hopkins said,
Hopkins said he spoke to another neighbor, Richard Knott, who intervened and worked out an agreement that Hopkins would pay the Goebels $3,000 for their legal fees. Knott did not respond to the Inquirer's attempts to reach him via phone calls and an email.
who's Richard Knott?
He's a neighbor that lives down the street,
Are you friends with
Is he
Richard Knott?
naughty?
How do you know him?
just from being in the neighborhood. And then he was always with Tim Hopkins at any court appearance, or he was. I wasn't involved in any of the discussions.
I won't ask you to speculate.
So
Do you
I don't
know?
know.
There's a reference here to a $3,000 payment for their legal fees. Is that an agreement that you've ever signed?
No,
Do you have any idea what that agreement is?
I do not. I never signed any agreement.
In all of discovery throughout this case, have you ever seen a document produced?
No.
Does the settlement agreement that was signed mention $3,000?
No.
Oh my God, wrap it up.
I'll strike that. I'll move on.
Yeah.
Oh my God, coins can be massive.
Yeah.
It's like
Koi
the
are
size of
huge.
elephants.
Well, they can get a couple feet. Live like 20 years.
Whoa.
Section that says claims of extortion and death threats. I'd ask you to read that section.
Hopkins emailed Todd Carter, the Mason police chief at the time, and then Mayor Kathy Grossman in June of 2020. Hopkins said he was being harassed and extorted by Tom Grossman and Goebel. Kathy Grossman is married to Tom Grossman.
And again, have you ever threatened criminal prosecution against Mr. Hopkins?
No.
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Yes.
Okay, this is just for Christ's
Like I
sake.
said, I just,
Okay,
Swing.
we're getting the cross now.
Or that-
I'm just looking at coins right now. My
I'm not
God.
sure if you have all of the exhibits up there that council showed you. Do you have them up there with you?
I got
Did you
some.
dig out 28?
No,
That was the,
I only have number 3.
There wasn't enough space up there, Mr. Rice.
Sorry, they live 25 to 35 years.
let me hand you what previously the answer is. Plaintiff's exhibit 28.
Yes,
And I believe in questioning from Mr. Grody, you said that this included a restriction as to where the garage could be built. Is that right?
yes,
But it also had other restrictions on it, right? Paragraph 4, that it says the location of all recreational equipment of a permanent nature, including without limitation, swing, slide, play sets, gym equipment, trampoline and playhouses, and swimming pools shall be approved in writing by grantor prior to installation. Is that right?
Yes.
So these were other things that your understanding was you and Chuck could control in regard to Mr. Hopkins' property.
Yeah, like I said, I just remember the first thing.
Well, you're not arguing that the other thing's in there, right?
No, no.
A boy and his koi. Sorry. Why is your screen just like letting me share immediately?
Oh. Aw. Look at that. You can pet the koi. You can, yeah, they'll recognize their owners and you can like go and pet them and feed them and they have
I have
fun.
nightmares about that.
Why?
Yucky. Just feeling
That koi's big. Probably 15, 20 years.
It's like petting a goldfish. That's disgusting.
It's a big goldfish, yeah.
Fish.
They do
petting it.
goldfish and koi do poop a lot and pee a lot more than like a normal fish.
In the water with it.
Yeah.
With all the poop and the pee and everything.
Well, that's why you got a filter in it.
Yep. The filter's not getting it if it's just coming straight out.
Sure, it'll grab it.
Gross.
Okay.
Talking about this easement, you were asked about the video, and we could watch it again if you need to, where I believe you said that your understanding was that when y'all went over to Mr. Hopkins' house on May 7th, that it was your understanding that he didn't know about the easement at that time.
No, we assumed he did because it was in his deed. But
Are we finally over to defense now?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, thank you.
In that videotape, do you remember that?
yes,
Okay, and in there, he was actually referring to the restrictive covenant with the Heritage Club HOA, isn't that right?
I assumed when he said, I didn't know there was more than one restrictive covenant. So when he said restrictive covenant, I assumed he was talking about this.
Okay, well, if you listen carefully to that tape, you'll hear that he also mentioned, right after he mentioned the restrictive covenant, he said it was submitted by Jeff Barnes to the Heritage Club.
Yeah, we were down on the road by then, so I had a hard time hearing.
Okay. So you don't know whether he was referring to this easement that Chuck was holding at the end of the driveway, or if he was referring to the restrictive covenant of the Heritage Club HOA. Is that right?
No, what I said was, I thought this was the only restrictive covenant there was. So when he said that, I assumed that's what it was. I was not aware of any other restrictive covenant.
But in fact, he was referring to Jeff Barnes and the restrictive covenant of the Heritage Club, correct?
I don't know anything about that because I didn't know it existed.
Do you want to listen to it again where he mentions Jeff Barnes?
No, what I'm saying is I didn't know there was another restrictive covenant. I thought when he said that, he was referring to this.
Okay, so you're not quibbling with me that he was referring to something.
Correct. I just didn't know there was another one.
And do you know, you mentioned there was a sheriff or police officer on the street the day that you went up to, when you and your husband spoke to Ryan Goebels about the easement when he opened the door?
Ryan Hopkins?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan Hopkins.
Yeah, we're Goebel.
Yes, I'll try and keep it straight.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, let me repeat that. So you said there was a police officer on the street when you and your husband went up to the Hopkins house and ended up speaking to Ryan Hopkins?
That's correct.
Okay, and do you know that your husband had reached out to the police officer on the advice of Thomas Grossman?
I'm not sure whose advice. I know that he had reached out to the police officer to be a neutral observer.
Okay. And would it surprise you to learn that was Thomas Grossman's idea to have the police officer there?
I don't know who it was.
You just know someone gave him that advice?
I don't know.
Well, the plaintiff can have loud sex.
And you mentioned these lights that you said went into your bedroom.
Yes.
Why?
The defense lawyer said he had sexual issues in opening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He did.
He's
hey.
limp. He's flaccid. He's soft, chat. Soft, limp, flaccid.
He's homos non erectus.
Oh,
And they're motion lights, correct?
I don't know what kind of lights they are.
And you said they went on and off, correct?
They went on and off, but I don't know if it's controlled by motion. They would just go on and off.
But you're familiar with motion lights, correct? That whether it's
Yes,
a bird
I
or
am.
something.
You just deluded.
And you mentioned something about
both
Mr.
were
Hopkins'
limp.
dogs, and you're aware that the type of dogs he had were called mini toy Aussies.
I don't know what kind of dogs he had.
Mini
They were small
toy
dogs, right?
Aussie.
I don't know. They,
Okay, well, I gotta know. A mini toy Aussie.
What the hell's that?
They are under 20 pounds. A miniature American Shepherd. So 20 to 40 pounds. They're freaking adorable. And they're this Hefo is trying to say that it's a pit bull that attacked her kids.
Okay. No.
I don't know how small they were.
Well, I believe you testified that you've reviewed the exhibits in this case.
Yes.
And
And
you
they
recall-
startled, yeah, they startled my daughter. They came into our yard and jumped on her and startled her. I don't know what kind of dogs they were.
you recall they were small dogs.
I mean, they weren't puppies. They were, I don't know exactly what you want me to say.
They weren't pit bulls, right?
They weren't pit bulls, but we didn't know that because the email stated he was going to sick his pit bulls on us.
Well, do you know what a pit bull looks like?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and they don't look like mini toy Aussies or the type of dogs Hopkins.
Well,
had,
there's all
correct?
different kinds of pit bulls because they're so inbred. I mean, there's people that have told me that their dog has pit bull in them, and I could never have.
Excuse me, are
Man.
you saying pit bulls are southern? I mean, ouch.
Impressed.
Well, they are, but
Very racist of you, kind of.
Yes,
Not really.
So it's your testimony that after seeing the Hopkins dogs, you thought they might indeed be pit
They
bulls?
could be.
And you testified about
Also, Tracy, in Australia, we call it
Mr. Hopkins
soft
throwing dog poop in the yard.
Correct.
It was in the pickup bags, in dog bags. And
Yes.
And Exhibit 53, do you have that in front of you, the picture?
No.
Okay.
I don't have any exhibits except 28 and 3.
looks like you have more than that, man.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Working on the yard or working on whatever's piled there?
I can't tell. I see the coyotes, and yes, I don't know if that's a statue or person. I can't tell from this picture. The coyote's right here,
Okay.
and that's not real. That's a statue.
Okay,
Whatever.
you can't tell whether that's a person or not
No.
working.
Really?
We're talking about dogs on the canine subject. Have you ever heard someone refer to a lawyer as a pit bull?
No, I have not.
You ever heard
Bullshit.
anyone refer to
Well, David gets referred to as a son of a bitch quite a lot. Does that count?
Fairly often.
any person as a pit bull? You've never heard that
I have
phrase?
not.
How about a schnauzer?
Never heard referred to an athlete as a pit bull?
Maybe the statues are weeping angels. Doctor Who reference.
And there was a lot of talk about the settlement agreement, and the settlement agreement was eventually signed, and
soft
in fact,
cop.
Mr. Hopkins
Soft cock?
didn't build the garage, correct?
Correct.
Was it?
He didn't complete it. He started to build it.
Yeah.
Soft cock.
He wasn't able to
Oh, what a
complete it.
soft cock.
Good to know.
He never got his garage.
Correct.
Do you have the newspaper article?
Yes, it's right here.
Her home was or his, or Mr. Hopkins?
Hers.
Hers. What's the basis of the objection?
Relevance.
It's- I don't see anything prejudicial about it. They live in a nice neighborhood. She says she doesn't know, so overruled.
And how many bedrooms do you have?
5 bedrooms.
And you said your and Chuck's bedroom is on the side of the house next to the where the Hopkins used to live,
Correct, on the main floor.
and the kids' bedrooms are on the other side of the house.
Upstairs on the other side.
Now let's take a look at this article. And you said that the real problems for your husband started after this article was published, correct?
Well, the purple Lambo, it started with that.
But this was the real help, right? Cincinnati Fire article.
There wasn't, it started with the website and the social media posts.
Are you aware that that's what he told his psychiatrist, that the real problem was this article?
No, I have no I don't know anything about anything he said with the psychiatrist.
Well, let's go through some of the parts of this article that you didn't talk about with counsel. So it starts off, a purple Lamborghini, charges of extortion, marijuana, a millionaire amputee who helped sell a company to Amazon, a Warren County commissioner. That's the first paragraph, correct?
Yes,
And then it says, that's all part of one of Warren County's most chaotic feuds. And it started with a dispute over a garage between two Mason neighbors in a luxury gated community, correct?
that's what it says, yes.
And then the next thing it says is that Mason police arrested Tim Hopkins, a former Mason resident and CEO of a healthcare consulting company, for violating a civil protection order last May, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so the readers right now know that Mr. Hopkins not only was the subject of a protective order, but was arrested for it, correct?
yes,
Okay. Then it says Hopkins spent 4 days in jail. Then it goes on to say he's also facing charges for the cultivation and possession of marijuana in Warren County Common Pleas Court, right?
yes,
Then it says Hopkins believed this is all part of an extortion attempt by his neighbor, Charles Goebel, and Goebel's lawyer, Warren County Commissioner Tom Grossman, correct?
yes,
And it doesn't say Charles and Diane there, right?
yes. It
Just
does
says
not
Charles.
say.
Do you know whether, strike that, oh wait, it then says Grossman argued in court documents that Hopkins is trying to defame the Goebel family, correct?
Yes,
Okay. As well as Mason and Warren County officials in an attempt to suppress evidence related to the marijuana charges. You see that?
yes,
So
That
Tom,
makes
Tom Grossman in this article is giving your side of the story, right?
well, yeah, he's saying what happened because Tim Hopkins accused us of extortion and fraud.
And Tom Grossman is saying that that's not true.
Right, and all the Warren County officials are part of the conspiracy.
Okay, and good. And then Grossman goes on to accuse Mr. Hopkins of lying. He says,
Okay,
the only
hold
real
on.
story is that Hopkins and his attorney, so he accused Hopkins and his attorney, have lied repeatedly to smear, defame, and damage scores of innocent individuals.
Okay, that was the end of the front page and you kept
Okay,
reading, so I'm
A4.
trying to see
Time out,
what.
time out. One person at a time. She's trying to take this testimony down. Right? She was talking. Go ahead and finish your statement. But if he interrupts you, don't just keep talking either. I'll correct him on that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I was just saying that the paper article I'm reading from stopped at Warren County officials in an attempt to suppress evidence, and then you kept reading, and I didn't know where to follow you.
I apologize. I was looking at that.
Yeah. So, and then I saw page
Oh,
4, but I
that's
don't
on
know what you
newspaper?
just read. Okay.
Yeah.
I put it on newspaper.
Yeah. They're going to pull up some MySpace clippings too, I think.
Then the following paragraph says, the Inquirer interviewed Hopkins on March 15. The Inquirer reached out to Goebel by phone in March, but Goebel referred questions to Grossman. Were you aware that the reporter tried to talk to your husband about this article?
He,
Where'd
yeah,
he go?
What?
Where did he go?
Hmm.
How did he get? Where did he go?
Whoa. You just wheeled on out of there.
It just like he got beamed up or something. Is his wheelchair still there?
No. I
Oh,
see
there he
him.
is.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah, he
Look
looked
on
at
his
his phone.
phone. Maybe you got a
Come on,
date.
stop freezing.
Oh,
Mr. Hopkins, do you have
Come on. When did he
Square feet.
disappear?
What's the big?
wonder if she got the shits. Maybe she said something wrong.
Are on the other side of the house.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, there he is. There he is.
I don't-
Yeah.
It's the little things that entertain us.
It's the basis of the
I
objection.
want to know what it was.
I don't see anything prejudicial about it. They live in a nice neighborhood. She says she doesn't know. So overruled.
Teleported in like
And how many
Captain
bedrooms?
Pike.
Yeah.
5 bedrooms.
Wait.
And you said
Oh,
you're
look at him go.
And
God.
Chuck's. And how many bedrooms? Yeah.
5 bedrooms.
Damn. Yeah, where's the ADA
And-
button?
You said you're
This damn courthouse isn't ADA accessible. It's supposed to
No,
have
no.
a
It's,
little-
I can just imagine his wheels going.
Well, the court needs to have a freaking button you press that opens the door. I mean, in the poor guy's defense, that is kind of like a thing.
I'm not feeling
I
too
suppose,
sorry
yeah, he
for
has
him right
medical
about now.
issues. I'm sorry?
I'm not feeling too sorry for him right about now.
No, he is kind of a dick.
He's a dick.
Um,
But like sepsis, that's a terrible way to lose a limb. Like that's shit. But it doesn't give you a right to be an
Oh.
absolute cock.
he might be
When I
going
decided to
outside to
smoke
smoke
pot,
pot.
He used it multiple times a day to deal with amputation pain. He was
Yeah.
even growing his own pot, which is why he was charged with. Really? Can you
Phantom
not
leg
have
is
pot in? Is this Arizona or Ohio?
Ohio.
Can you not
No,
have
you-
pot medicinal?
No, you can. I don't know if he has to smoke it or maybe as edibles.
Yeah, no, but why would he be growing his own if he needs
Oh, because he was trying to find used to be a pharmacist.
right?
So he was like trying to find his own strain because he didn't want to take painkillers for his leg.
Right.
So
But yeah, I mean,
he
if
got
it,
into the whole weed thing.
but I'm just questioning, like, if it's legal for medicinal use in Ohio, why
Yeah.
couldn't you just get it? Like,
I guess he
from a
wanted a
doctor?
certain strain,
Okay.
like make his own.
Mhm.
So
Her,
there you go.
and Chuck's bedroom is on the side. What happened,
Nice.
according to the article, on May 8th, 2020, it says Charles and Diane Goebel went to Hopkins' house to inform him of the restriction. Hopkins' son answered the door and told the Goebels to leave. The Goebels walked out to the street and Hopkins came out of the house, according to a report from Mason police officer Eric Wallace. Goebel said he wanted to raise the restriction issue with Hopkins before construction expenses were incurred. That's what it says in the article. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hopkins told Goebel to stay off my property and go expletive yourself, according to Wallace's report.
Get off my lawn.
So
And let's just make this clear. You're asking her if this article says that. You're not asking her if someone else said it or if it's true.
that's correct.
Okay.
So you're just asking me to what you just read to say, yes, that's
Yeah,
what
is that
I'm
correct?
reading.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it goes on to say, Goebel asked Wallace to conduct extra patrols in the neighborhood due to heightened tension between Hopkins and himself. That's what it says, correct?
That's correct.
And do you know if that is true? Did your husband ask police officer Eric Wallace from Mason to conduct extra patrols in the neighborhood?
Not that I'm aware of.
So you don't know one way or the other?
No.
Better question for Chuck, correct?
I'm not aware that he asked that. What
Yeah,
I'm saying.
he needed a police officer to protect him from the defendant.
Then it goes on and recites, and tell me if this is correct. Goebel then sent a letter.
I bet one day he came out to get the newspaper in the morning and he saw the defendant had left his wheelchair outside the house. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I actually saw that in the case once. This guy in a wheelchair got arrested for stalking his ex-girlfriend in
Uh-huh.
Judge Fleischer's courtroom. And one of the things in the probable cause was he left his wheelchair outside her house. And she saw it the next morning.
What, like a warning? Like you next?
Yes. Yeah, like threatening her with his wheelchair. And then Fleischer gave him the plenty of fish in the sea speech.
God, Fleischer.
Hopkins and Cedar Hill Custom Homes, the construction company, that said the planned construction violated the restriction. Goebel hired Grossman as his lawyer. Goebel said in protection order case documents that Hopkins then sent him a, quote, hostile, threatening, and intimidating email, quote, in response. Is that what it says?
Yes,
Okay, and did you know that to be true?
yes.
Then goes on to say, since I became commissioner, I take local cases sometimes for friends, but I do not seek out cases in Warren
Very
County.
good
told the
question.
Inquirer.
It was his other wheelchair.
But how did
Is
he
that what it says?
bring it?
And
Like,
was Tom Grossman a friend of your husband, Chuck?
That's what I wondered as well. Like he had to really work at it.
I would like to see that. I would like to see. Sorry, like Kayla said, cripple. Someone in a wheelchair hauling ass with another
I know.
wheelchair.
It's like trying to wheel two carts at once. It's really awkward.
I mean, these days the wheelchairs are automated, right? So you don't have to actually push.
True.
Yeah. So if you've got electric wheelchair, and would you be holding the other one, or like would you have it over
Just
your
kinda
head?
guiding it. Maybe it's all
Oh yeah,
folded
would you be
on
just
your lap.
guiding it? I don't know. I want to see this.
I wouldn't say they were friends. He knew him from the neighborhood.
Okay, so would you think if Grossman told this to the Inquirer, he wasn't referring to this case with Chuck as a friend?
I don't know.
Then skip one paragraph, talks about county commissioners. Then it goes down. Hopkins said he spoke to another neighbor, Richard Knott, who intervened and worked out an agreement that Hopkins would pay the Goebels $3,000 for their legal fees. Knott did not respond to the Inquirer's attempts to reach him via phone calls and an email. It says that. They are correct.
Yes,
And I believe, was it your testimony that you had no involvement in the negotiations between Mr. Hopkins, Mr. Goebel, and Richard Knott?
that's correct.
Did Chuck ever tell you, hey, we reached an agreement, I'm going to pay a few $1,000s. Tim can keep the garage as long as he follows certain rules
No.
and puts in some landscaping?
No.
He never told you about that?
No.
Would Chuck keep you abreast of what was going on in regard with the court cases and the negotiations?
He let me know what's going on, but totally he handled it all. So I wasn't aware of every single thing that happened. I would just, I knew the general stories, but I didn't know a lot of the details. No.
Well, for if that was true or not, because you weren't involved in that.
Well, I know it's not true because he never demanded $50,000. I would have known about that.
I thought you said you weren't kept abreast.
Well, something, not I said of the specifics, like the court hit the day to day, but if there was a demand for $50,000, I would have known about it.
Okay. And if there was a demand for $5,000, you would have known about it as well?
I don't know what, I'm just telling you what I was told or what I heard. That's all I
Okay,
can
just so we're clear.
testify to.
All right, so you didn't hear about a $5,000 demand?
No.
And you didn't hear about a $50,000 demand?
I heard something about $50,000. I didn't know anything about the specifics, as I said.
Okay, so you did know about a $50,000?
I heard something about $50,000, as I've said. I don't know what the details were.
Okay, and just so we're clear, that was a
Yeah.
demand for Mr. Hopkins to pay $50,000 to Goebel and Grossman,
I
correct?
was not aware of that.
Objection, that's a mischaracterization.
I apologize, I don't mean to mischaracterize, Your Honor. What was your understanding of, what was the $50,000 for?
I don't know. I've said that. I don't know. I just heard something with $50,000. I had no idea what it was about. I'm just telling you, when you said that 50,000, when I read that, I said, yes, something about 50,000, but I couldn't tell you what it was about.
Okay. I mean, you knew it was about the conflict over the garage, right?
I knew it had something to do with, I didn't know if I honestly didn't know. No,
Could have been about something completely different.
could have been. I don't know. As I keep saying, I don't know.
Snippy.
Then there's a quote from,
Do you know?
it looks like, I guess it's not clear. It looks like it's a quote from Mr. Hopkins. We had an agreement on how to proceed, and then suddenly that wasn't acceptable. And they wanted $50,000 just for 2 weeks of legal fees for Tom Grossman, he said. And I believe that's from the context referring to Mr. Hopkins. Is that how the article reads?
Yes, he said, yes.
Then the next sentence, the Goebels filed a lawsuit against Hopkins and Cedar Hill on May 25 for violating the restriction. Do you see that?
Yes.
And do you know what that was? Was that the temporary restraining order lawsuit?
I don't know what it was for.
I believe you testified on direct that you did know about the temporary restraining lawsuit. Is that right?
Yes,
You just don't know if that's the one referred to here.
exactly.
And then the next sentence says, Goebel said in the protection order case documents that after he filed the lawsuit, Hopkins engaged in an, quote, extensive campaign to intimidate, threaten, and coerce Goebel and his family, close quote.
Yes,
Is that right?
yes,
Then you would agree that that's true, right?
that's very true.
Okay. And then it goes on to give some more details. Goebel said Hopkins screamed obscenities at him and his family whenever they were outside or walking in the neighborhood, period. Goebel said in the protection order case documents, Hopkins once drove his car aggressively toward Goebel and his wife as if he was going to hit them. Is that correct?
Yes,
In fact, those are some of the very things that you talked about, say, on the stand, right?
yes.
Goes on with some of the other things you testified about. Hopkins played extremely loud music and the sounds of jackhammers, motors, roosters, barking dogs, and gunshots through outdoor speakers starting around 7 a.m., according to the lawsuit and police reports. Goebel said the noise played at all hours of the day and often for many hours at a time. Is that right? He says that?
Yes.
It goes on about the spotlights. Hopkins aimed bright spotlights at the Goebel's bedroom, preventing them from sleeping some nights, according to the protection order case file, correct?
Yes,
And this is all included in the Inquirer article, correct?
yes,
And would you agree with me that this is basically providing your response, you being the Goebels, to and Mr. Grossman to the allegations that Mr. Hopkins is making in the article, correct?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well, would you consider this to have been an even-handed article?
I don't know.
Do you believe it included your side of the story?
There are parts of it, yes, that are true.
In fact, the majority of the story includes your side of the article. I strike that. In fact, the majority of the article includes your side of the story. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure if it's the majority.
Okay, let's finish up then. It then goes on to say, Hopkins repeatedly threw bags of dog feces on the Goebel's lawn and asked his son Ryan to place trash along the Goebel's property line. Goebel said in the lawsuit and in his petition for a protection order. Does it say that?
Yes,
And that is another one of the bases of your concerns about Mr. Hopkins' conduct, correct?
yes.
Can we get this article?
And then in fact, it goes on and talks about some of the problems that Mr. Hopkins' conduct caused for your daughter, Mitzi, correct?
Yes.
I can look for it.
Then proceeds. Starting in the first week of June, Hopkins created a garbage pile along the fence between his property and Goebel's, according to protection order case documents. Goebel said in an affidavit, Hopkins added to the pile throughout the summer of 2020. It says that, right?
Yes.
And in fact, you were shown that picture by Mr. Grody, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it, Scott.
It then goes on to say Mason police patrolled the neighborhood at least 69 times between May 2020, when Hopkins began construction, and May 14, 2021, when Hopkins was arrested, according to police reports. Does it say that?
It does say that.
And then it goes on to explain the patrols were either in response to noise complaints or the extra police presence Goebel requested in the neighborhood in May 2020, right?
Yes, I don't know if that's true, but that's what it says.
Okay. You don't know. You haven't done an analysis of the police reports or the patrol logs, correct?
No.
Do you have any reason to doubt that the author of the article had done a review before putting that in the paper?
No.
Kathy, correct?
Yes,
Says that as well, right?
that's what my yes was, is it said that in the paper.
And then it notes that Kathy Grossman's married to Tom Grossman, and Kathy Grossman, we just discussed, is the mayor, correct?
Yes,
Mayor of Mason.
Hey, Lefty.
And Tom Grossman is a county commissioner in Warren County.
yes.
And then if you just take a look for a matter of time, it indicates that that Mr. Hopkins would have to work with the Mason Police Department to investigate his extortion claims, right?
I'm looking to find, did you skip down?
Starting with the paragraph, well, just one down, Forbes said it would be.
Yes, got it.
And then the last sentence, he said Hopkins would need to work with the Mason Police Department to investigate the extortion claims.
Yes,
Correct. Please, says that, right?
yes,
So the article makes clear that there had been a police investigation and Mr. Hopkins' claims were rejected. Is that
yes.
right? And did you say that people came up to you to talk to you about this article?
Yes, because he still continued to publish. It was on Facebook, and the conspiracy theory of extortion and fraud that we were involved in with Warren County judges and
My question was focused.
that's why they were coming up.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But my question was focused on, you said people kept coming up to you and talking to you about this article. Is that right?
This article and the Facebook post, yes.
And when someone mentioned the article to you, did you tell them, would you read it? Just read it.
No.
Just read it.
Did you point out to them that it explained why you believe that Mr. Hopkins' claims weren't true?
I said that his claims of extortion and conspiracy and fraud clearly are true.
And my question was, did you tell them to look in the article and see that it explains why Hopkins' claims aren't true?
No.
It's two was said in to people.
No.
Found that Hopkins' claims aren't valid.
No, I did not discuss the specifics of the article.
Yeah, you got to change the settings because I share something, it just comes straight up.
You got the article?
Yeah, there it is. But yeah, you can go back to the stream for now.
These things online for the public to read, even though he knew that there were no charges, there was no evidence to anything in the investigation of these charges.
And the evidence of that is laid out in this article, correct?
Well, the evidence is that he said he'll let the public opinion decide, which means he's going to continue to post, or he'll post things publicly for people to see.
But it also includes that the police and the courts have said that the accusations of extortion don't have merit, correct?
Correct, and yet he continued to do that.
I'm going to end it after cross. Soon.
That's a bit much. Escalated quickly. Violet,
Hopkins,
here's the
Your Honor,
thing.
this
I
would be a good time
don't
to
think
break.
he is the brightest, right? So I
Yeah.
don't think that we can trust him to make the best choices in life.
I think he has to testify in a civil trial.
That's true, actually. It's not like he can plead the fifth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll call him.
And if the defense doesn't, then the plaintiffs can.
The plaintiffs call him. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look at what he's done. I mean, just the whole purchase of the giant koi pond, for one thing. The purple Lamborghini. I mean, look at it. Hang on. Look at this stupid looking thing. Look at it.
Yeah.
Is it the stupidest looking thing you've ever seen in your life? You to spend your hard-earned dollars on
Yeah,
that?
but the car's pretty cool.
Dear.
It's this
millionaire
whole thing is
amputee.
just so bizarre.
Help sell a company to Amazon. Just what a dickhead.
Like they've got so much money and nothing better to do than piss it all
Look
away
at
to
this
lawyers.
house. Look at this house.
Yeah, like
400
it's massive.
Wow.
It's a mansion.
It looks like a castle.
And he's like, oh, well, I was just trying to be nice and try to save him money and let him know that where he's building the garage, he can't do that. And I was just didn't want him to get too far into the process. So I just went over there all friendly, like to talk to him. But I called the police to have them on standby while I went over there. The plaintiff called the police to sit at the driveway when they went over to talk to him about building the garage.
Wait a minute. What's this 753 million? It was so what?
Yeah.
Until 2018, Hopkins was executive vice president of PillPack, a New Hampshire-based online pharmacy company with 400 employees. It was sold to Amazon in September 2018 for $753 billion.
Yeah.
Holy freaking macaroni.
He's got a ton of money.
Goebel, 68, is a retired dentist who's lived in the neighborhood since 2008. I wonder what he's worth. Jesus Christ. These people have too much money and too much time on their hands, and they're just being assholes to one another for no reason.
Yep.
You'd think they'd live further apart. Like, they've got so much money. Like, you'd think they'd live on acreage, like so far apart from one another that they, like, noise wouldn't carry.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, if they were just normal people living normal lives, yeah. But I imagine he was being pretty obnoxious and trying to blast music, put up speakers to annoy them, flash lights at them. I can see him doing that. But I also think the plaintiff kind of, I don't want to say it's their fault, but like when you get into a pissing match like this, sometimes you're going to meet someone who is really petty.
Oh, yeah.
And really, really vindictive. So if you go over there and start threatening lawsuits right away,
yeah,
and be kind of confrontational about it, well, this is going to happen.
Yeah, and you're going to threaten a lawsuit against somebody who has money too.
That too.
Yeah.
There's a shitload of money. Time on their hands.
Yeah, money and time on their hands.
Could be vindictive, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just like, and it's like your whole spiel is like you want peace and quiet and just no stress.
Well, I just want peace and quiet.
Well, how much stress are you getting now?
Yeah.
All because he didn't want him to build a garage.
Yeah, this is great, isn't it? This has worked out well.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of sympathy for anyone here at the moment.
No. By the way, Lamborghinis are super freaking loud.
Really?
Don't you know? You never been around a Lamborghini?
I probably have, but
they are ridiculous. Like they're the car equivalent of like a F-111. They're really, really loud.
Well, I am going to end it here. That was it for Cross. And they'll be back tomorrow.
Do we know who else they're calling?
Bunch of people. The plaintiff still has to testify, and the defendant will. They got some experts as well. It's going to be up to a 5-day trial.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I am probably not going to cover this gavel to gavel, but I will do the important witnesses. And cover like the main parties and everything here. Otherwise, it will take a really long time to get through this.
Yeah, they weren't hurrying.
No.
Yeah. I want to see the defendant.
Yeah.
I reckon it could be really spicy.
Yeah. And the plaintiff.
And the plaintiff, actually, the plaintiff was like,
yeah, he has a temper on him.
Yeah, he's got a temper. I'm sure they've both got a temper.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I don't want to see the soft cock. Not the actual soft cock.
Yeah.
Please keep that. I can keep that.
Well, yeah.
I don't want, yeah.
But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern. Or sorry, 10 o'clock Eastern or 10 a.m. Eastern for courtroom roulette. And then we'll continue this trial at 5 Eastern tomorrow.
Also, did you have any luck looking for the Corey Richards document for me?
I did spend a few minutes this morning, but I could only find civil stuff. I need to look a little bit more. I did look on Utah's website, but it was just like tax stuff that I found.
Right. Well, guys, Corey Richards is innocent. and it looks like she might even get her case dismissed. Right? It's really huge. Big news in the Corey Richards case. Oh, Scott, yes. There is a motion by the defense in the Corey Richards case to have her bail or her bond reviewed. And also there's, I don't know if it's a Brady motion, but the state has been hiding evidence of their star witness actually recanted his testimony, and the state hid that. So there'll be a motion for sanctions, I believe. Anyway, this has all come out in the last day or two, but the star witness has come along and said, no, I didn't supply fentanyl, I supplied oxycodone. That is huge. It's like exonerating huge.
Yeah.
So, I always knew she didn't do it. Knew it. Justice for Corey. Also, she should have been out all this time. This is so stupid.
yeah.
She is not a danger to anybody. So it's ridiculous. She should get her bond this time. Imagine if she gets out. You'll have a look.
All right, guys.
Please. See, I'll stream on that if I can get a document or something.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to end now, guys. It has been fun, and I shall.
He got it somewhere, not she. Sorry.
I will see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Bye.